Pour yourself a tall glass of Barocca because we are back at you with week number 2 of the LPL Pro Rocket League Oceanic Championship, powered by Barocca, of course. We're coming at you live right there in the Sky Tower in the heart of Auckland City. My name, it's Matt Smite Ross, and we've got Mr. Watson here. His mum calls him Steven, but he's here back for week number 2.
I'm always here, Smart, and I'm ready for some more Rocket League. We had a very interesting week last week, so I'm hoping for more of the same, and looking at the matchups, they might deliver.
Man, look, speaking of last week, I just want to touch on that because, like you said, we had some interesting matchups, but hey, look, we still got some good matchups on paper, some things that went as expected.
Yeah, I don't think I would have called half of these games, some of them going a bit more one way, but I guess the first one, Fury taking down Overt, was a very interesting one. I would have called it the other way. Then Cringe and Ground Zero both picking up a 3-0 win very dominantly. But then that final game that everyone was talking about, Mindfreak taking down Renegades 3-1 as well, not going to game 5.
Yeah, so it's going to make this week real interesting to come in because you've got Renegades coming in. We want to see what Mindfreak are going to look like in week number 2, whether it was a fluke or not. But I want to just put your eyes on that rolling ball into the goal right there. I mean, I couldn't believe it when it happened live, but what a way to end that series with Mindfreak taking the win. What
a challenge from Requiem as well. Just throws himself in the way, absolutely destroys Kami there, and it just watches it go in the goal, doesn't even follow it up.
Could have been so bad as well if it missed, but regardless, these are your results with Fury, Cringe Society, Ground Zero, and Renegades, oh, sorry, not Renegades, Mindfreak all picking up the wins, and all the other teams going to be sitting down there at the bottom of the table. Speaking of, let's take a look at that leaderboard because it's week number 2, so it's not going to look pretty crazy. I mean, the big thing that stands out, of course, is Renegades sitting down there in the bottom half. But, of course, all the teams that won, right there in the top 4. All the teams that lost, in the bottom 4. Not too complicated.
Yeah, not much else to say about that. Well, I mean, we'll see how it shapes up after today, but I'm sure we'll get into the games soon. But, yeah, man, what a week last week was. And for the first week as well. And we had some rookies that had some great performances. I thought maybe they'd have the nerves. Didn't show any of them.
Yeah, and so let's take a look at the matches we're going to be having this week, because after last week, a lot of teams are going to be wanting to come in here with a very strong performance. Of course, we'll take one last look at Auckland City because it's a beautiful one. It's actually a really good day today. Very sunny, but here are the matches. We're going to kick things off with Canberra Havoc taking on the Renegades in a rematch of the grand final last season. After that, we'll have Mindfreak taking on Overt, seeing if Mindfreak can continue their streak after beating Renegades last week. Following that, Team Esper will be looking for their first win against Ground Zero. And our final match will be Fury versus Cringe Society. I'm kind of excited for that one, but Watson, what one stands out to you?
For me, I've got to go with Mindfreak versus Overt. Both teams very impressive. Overt obviously getting the loss, so maybe Mindfreak a bit better, but I do want to see Mindfreak carry on this win streak. I think they're a very surprising team for me, and watching Ghost and Requiem work together was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that one. But the first game as well, a repeat of the final. Both teams losing last week, though, so not looking in top form. Both teams trying to bounce back. One of them's going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, one of them will pick up their win, so let's take a look at that matchup coming up. It's Canberra Havoc versus the Renegades, both from the grand finals last season. Canberra Havoc, as well as Renegades, being both the Oceanic representatives at Worlds last year, so they didn't put on the greatest performance, of course, but you know what? We always support them not all the same, but let's take a look at their lineups. First up, it's Canberra Havoc, and of course, they've got some names we know and love. It's Walcott and Leduc, Tango being the new player on the team.
Yeah, Tango was that one of the rookies I was talking about before. Maybe the worst of the 4 rookies coming in. He had a bit of a shaky start.
But they were all pretty good.
Yeah, Cam put it down to nerves, so I'd like to see him maybe bounce back, be solid today. I don't like his choice in car, though. I'm going to stick with that.
Hey, man, Merkmain for life. But taking a look at their opponents, it's going to be the defending champions. It's the Renegades. They're coming back with CJ as the newest addition to the roster. And then, of course, the tried and true Kami and Siki coming along for the ride.
Very interesting note, CJ did get knocked out by Havoc as well last season to put Canberra Havoc in the final, so he is definitely out for revenge today. This is the team that he has a bit of beef with, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a unique situation here for the revenge storyline, so be real interesting to pick up on that one. Of course, let's take a look at the featured player matchup. CJ is going to be the featured player on the Renegades, and we're going to be taking a look at Leduc compared to him. So, of course, both teams lost last week, so these stats might not tell the biggest story, but what can we see from them?
Yeah, with the loss, both stats not looking too great, but one thing I want to note, you kind of see a little bit there on the Renegades, but they had 32 shots and 3 goals, so the worst shooting percentage, under 10%. yeah, they really need to put those shots away if they want to win. And I mean, they did look dominant. They had possession a lot of the time and controlling the games. They just couldn't finish.
Well, we're only going to have one way to find out what this is going to look like, especially that featured matchup. Two really big names as well, by the way. I mean, CJ, one of the biggest names in Oceanic Rocket League probably ever. And then LeDuc, who I'd say is almost like an up-and-coming kind of CJ in terms of popularity and namesake. So
definitely from popularity, just because of the pants he wore to Worlds, and
come on.
definitely drew some eyes with those ones. So yeah, a great player as well. I mean, he popped off in finals last year, so I want to see them get back to that form. It was a bit sad and depressing to see them just kind of just lay there and let themselves get run over as they did. But yeah, I think today could be a good series of both teams playing form, but with last week's results, it might not be the best series of the day, sorry.
I mean, let's think about it, right? Because on the Renegades side, they lost to a team last week, which many people said they probably shouldn't have lost to. So if there's ever a team to hunker down and say, look, let's never let that happen again, it's got to be the Renegades. And then on Canberra Havoc's side, of course, they're a bit more laid back in terms of like when you compare to the Renegades.
They're just happy to be here.
Oh yeah, yeah, they are. But they were the first teams last season to defeat Renegades, and they may be here again looking to do it. It was week two as well.
Yeah. So we could see a repeat of last season. But one thing to note is, I guess Chiefs last year were that team that got knocked down and couldn't really find themselves again. So.
All right. Well, here's the kickoff here: Canberra Havoc versus Renegades. It's a rematch of last season's grand final. Already sitting in the Canberra Havoc half, and straight away we're getting all the way back to the orange side. But it's just back and forth right now.
Neither team really getting the control there. See a little bit of ping-ponging back between possession. As you see Tango taking it up here, trying to find something for his team, but just gives it straight to Siki in the corner, who beats him, getting into the field.
All right, so here we are with the names on the board right now. CJ going to move along to try and steal the ball. Kami dribbling it down the field, looking to play past all the Canberra Havoc members, but three of them are there, and one of them will save.
Good pass there coming up from Kami. Didn't find anyone. He was looking for Siki, I believe, but put it well past him, straight to the defense.
Okay, well, neither team really securing possession as they move through the half. Siki looking to make a play here, but it's taken out of his hands by the Canberra Havoc. They're struggling to get it back over and struggling to get a good clear here as Renegades are sticking around, looking to make more and more plays. They just got to get it cleared over to the center. Walcott going to go for the contest. He does win that 50-50. Can he get it even further down the field? He does a little bit. He gets delayed just a bit, but what can he do here? And there's the demo. On to Tango.
A bit of a stalemate here, neither one having a decisive shot. We see a double commit here, though, in the defense. CJ's got to clean this up for his team, does so, gets it past Walcott, buys enough time, even gets it up to midfield.
That was a real risky play, and it went real high in the sky, so Canberra Havoc had a lot of time to make their plays and keep it over in the defensive
What a
side
bump,
here.
though. Here it is. LeDuc coming across with the save, but look how much pressure this is getting. Siki coming in with the shot. Sorry, CJ with the shot. Does miss him. There we go.
Yeah, well, they were both lining up for the shot there, so maybe perhaps looking for more here. As CJ goes up into the sky, he's run out of boost, so he's going to have to run and find some of that. But Kami's in position, but of course, the blocking is still there, saving them from getting the first goal here. Canberra Havoc, very defensive so far. Tango goes wide and just completely misses it with his merc.
But this is what I'm saying about Renegades. They had a great shot there, couldn't get it. Walcott with the backward shot, doesn't get it. LeDuc misses it. Oh, this is a game of whiffs, Smite. Oh, man, that was hard to watch.
Yeah, we'll see which team whiffs the hardest first, though, as it's moving back over towards the Renegades goal, and Canberra Havoc get the first one on the board.
That was LeDuc there with what a redirect. Tango just kind of pops it in midfield, wasn't really looking for him, and LeDuc just gets enough on it to put it that side of the post.
What a good, cheeky little redirect, especially to get the first point on the board. Canberra Havoc getting that boulder rolling down the hill to start things off here in their revenge match. Remember, they lost to Renegades in the grand finals last season. Both teams yet to pick up a win in this season. So, Canberra Havoc off to a great start here.
Siki there, almost getting something. Went under the defender, but gets blocked out, and then the chance that it matters. As we see another attack coming here. Kami wins it there in the corner, but Tango's there to clean up.
Yeah, and they got a really good clear over here, straight back over into the Renegade side of the field. LeDuc looking to not contest, actually. Oh, no, there he goes. He does find a contest, but it doesn't matter as it still moves towards their own goal. Disruption on the goalie, but Canberra Havoc hold on. They hold tight. Many of them trying to go for the ball there, but it does manage to get cleared over to the corner here. Can Siki get it past?
And with 3 minutes gone, it's just more of what we saw last week from Renegades, just that final shot. I say it, and then they go and score, don't they? Of course they do. I mean, it was a great bump there coming out from, I believe it was Kami. CJ just getting the control, getting the second touch with an open net. Never going to miss that. If he had, I would have subbed him up.
I mean, it was a violent bump as well. He went for ages. He went flying after that, but it does tie things up here. Renegades getting one back onto a board in a pretty good fashion, I might add, as well. Very good communication. I feel like a lot of the mistakes they were making last week getting fixed here so far, but it's only one game so far. We'll see what else we can tell as they're moving it up. They're looking to maybe get a shot here, but Canberra Havoc are clearing it away, but in the center field here, they may have got a good shot, but Siki sends it over to the side where Canberra Havoc can just go for the 50s here, bumping all over the place. Renegades still holding on to the ball so far, though.
Good 50 there from Tango. Last man in net had to make something of it and did so. Just keeping the pressure on Renegades, though. I think if they keep this up, there is going to be a mistake coming through and could see a lead going their way.
Yeah, well, Renegades in a very similar fashion. That's a good little 50-50 there. It does disrupt. It bounces in front of the net. No one there to push it in by the Renegades, though, which means Canberra Havoc going to rush down the field. Can't get it past the defenders. I joke. I kid. I lie. Tango scores.
What just happened? Tango with a great flick, passes it off to Walcott, and then Walcott manages to hit the bar with that. Thought it was going in. Tango, the only person to read it and think, this is hitting the bar, I'm going for it, and gets himself the goal.
Yeah, very quick succession. You've got to really give it to Canberra Havoc players for reading that play. And so, because of that, they reward themselves with a point lead here. 50 seconds to go. Renegades have been in this position before, and it hasn't looked good for them in last week's games. Tango looking to move it over towards the goal, but can't find it. Has to rush back for the defense here. Renegades really want to find this one last goal. They've got a bit of time. They can take it patiently, but that clock ever so slowly ticking down.
Yeah, 30 seconds left here, and it's just in the Renegades' half. They've got to get it up, but with CJ's zero boost, he's going to have to lay it off for Kami. Does win that 50-50 there, getting it over Walcott, but pressure coming off the bump again. But Tango recovers, saves the shot. 15 seconds left. Could that be the moment that clinches this game?
That was a brilliant save there. Read the play immensely. Kami with the all-or-nothing play, but the big fat car isn't enough to block it, and Siki comes in to secure the deal. We might go to overtime.
Kami absolutely bounced this through Walcott. Oh, muscles it, flicks it up for Siki, puts it past him. Again, it's another open net. It's the only way they can score, it seems, but it's done enough. 6 seconds. Could see an overtime in game number 1.
Yeah, well, look, I'd be very surprised to see not overtime here as the clock is ticking down. I mean, Renegades have probably had the best 0-second goals we've seen, but it does touch the ground. We go to overtime here, 2 apiece right now. What a good way to start the day.
Both teams fighting for this win. You saw how aggressive Renegades were getting, but CJ goes for the shot there, shoots a bit too early, and Leduc reads it.
Yeah, I got a little bit excited there. I thought they were going to get it in, but it's going to slow down just a bit here. Renegades pushing it over, takes a shot, it's blocked. Very importantly, can he get it out? All the members of Renegades trying to push it in. CJ going for the final hit, but he goes wide. The Renegades fail to get that one in, and it could spell doom right now, but they still are taking shots.
How did that not go in? It rolled across the net for a good 3 seconds, and then CJ misses an open net. My lord. This is not the Renegades we know, Smite.
I'm sure we'll hear about it on the CJ and CJ show if it does go Canberra Havoc's way, as Renegades do hold it out. It is sitting in their field right now. Running out of boost, though, Kami is going to have to rely on his team to come in and try and send it in over to Siki, to push it in, but Canberra Havoc, they've grabbed possession. They've got a demo. It's Walcott going for the disruption, a demo on the goalie. Can he get it over? Can Walcott take a shot here? He pushes it in, but they've respawned in time to block it.
Just too slow there, Walcott. Didn't get the catch he was looking for and gave enough time for the respawns to come through. Great play from Leduc, though, to find both those demos. As we see one coming this way with Walcott taken out of the play. Can we see a Renegades goal? Kami goes for the shot. Misses.
Yeah, well, they push it out to the side. Canberra Havoc keeping this one alive, but it's still another shot opportunity. Siki through the air. Can he get it around the defenders? It doesn't look like it this time. And Canberra Havoc stay alive for now, but not long enough for Leduc to be demoed. Can the defenders hold on right now? He's respawned. They've got time. They're in position, and they block it once more.
Renegades just can't score if there's a man in net, can they? They don't know how to put it past the keeper, it seems. Have to demo him, so we could see that come out as we see Tango from midfield takes the shot, hits the wall.
Yeah, too long of a shot to get that one in, but it does stay in the possession so far, unless Siki can steal it away. He does bump, but CJ looking for his moment, goes wide, which means now Canberra Havoc can just sail on past the Renegades, but
Open
there was
net.
one member. It's not as open as you think. The big fat Merkmain is there to block everything.
The big fat card just fast enough to get to it. Walcott awkwardly on the post. CJ misses his shot again. That's 2 in overtime that should have gone in.
And man, it might be tense for us, but the players must be feeling it because right now so many shots are missed. But the people that are not feeling the tenseness are Canberra Havoc. They're holding so many saves, so many defenses here. It's looking great for them, but they've got to seal the deal. They've got to find a way to get a goal because eventually Renegades are going to slip one by.
2 minutes and a half. That's an extra half a game they've already played. As you see it get pumped into the Renegades half. They're now going to have to fight this out of there. But Tango wins that 50-50. No one to really follow it up. Walcott in the midfield tries to put a ball in. CJ gets rid of it.
Good bump onto the goalie there, LeDuc going wide. He doesn't get the bump though, which means that, again, Renegades get to hold on, but finally we're seeing some good strikes from Canberra Havoc. Can they get back?
No,
in
the
time?
whip.
Sicky, he goes almost a little wide there, but the defense holds on. Renegades still looking forward. Sicky waiting for his moment, running out of boost. The save gets cleared over to the side right now. Walcott keeping it over in that corner right now. And wow, this is tense. Renegades have taken so many shots at the goal, but you've got to give it up for the Canberra Havoc on their defense.
That shot from Sicky, I mean, it must have been a miscommunication there. He thought there was a player following up. There was an open net, and he just didn't go for it. Gave time for LeDuc to come back, but now we see that the pressure on the other way. No one's back. Could this be a counter-attacking goal coming up from Renegades? Kami goes for the pass. Tango reads it, goes as far as Sicky, puts it in. Kami reaps the award, but there it is. Renegades with 3 minutes and 30 seconds into overtime.
On
Clinch
Tango.
game 1.
Tango just trying to get it out of there, trying to clear it over to his teammate, but it's just putting it in the right position for the Renegades to score and win game number 1. And wow, what a way to kick off the day. What a way to start week number 2 here. Renegades, it's expected that they're going to win here, but did we really think it was going to be that close?
That was insane. That overtime was so crazy. I mean, that final goal coming down because Tango went for the commit there when there was already a player coming. Maybe a bit of panic. He is a rookie. We'll let him off. It's the first game, but we cannot see that falter. They needed to win that overtime. I mean, Renegades practically handed it to him with the amount of missed open shots.
Yeah. But also, let's talk about, I mean, yeah, Tango kind of messed up a little bit on that clear or pass or whatever he was going for, but that was, what, 3-4 minutes into overtime? And he didn't really mess up at all until then. And so, yeah, it does kind of screw him over in his team, but at the same time, you've got to give credit to them for holding on for so long. That was almost 2 games worth of playtime there. That said, though, Renegades did the same thing. They kept the pressure up and kept Canberra Havoc on the defense. So they had like maybe 1 or 2 opportunities during overtime to really get a goal, and it never worked out.
Yeah, we saw in open play that they had a lot of bump plays going. I think Kami was the man looking for those, but as soon as it hit overtime, it kind of just got a bit panicky. They were just starting to take shots where they could, and no one was looking for that demo. It ended up just being a mistake from Canberra Havoc that sealed the game for them there, but yeah, I think the bump play is good, but just those open net shots. Like, we saw it last week that they had so many shots and only 3 goals to show for it, so really need to put these away.
I can't wait to see the stats on Renegade's shot percentage after this week because, I mean, we'll see how the rest of the series goes, but it's going to be exciting. Kicking things off right here, almost into the Canberra Havoc net, but don't worry too much right now, guys, as the contest goes out and they actually win the 50-50 again to keep moving it down the field. Is there someone to set it up and take it off of CJ up in the sky? Doesn't look like it until he gets to the ground.
That's a great win from LeDuc there, but no one from Havoc really expecting it. Goes all the way to the other side and just takes away all that pressure. I want to touch back on the shots to goals ratio and how crazy is it to say that with a player like Sicky, MVP last season, got so many goals, top scorer as well, and just not finding the net this season, it seems.
Okay, well, still cleared out here by Tango, pushing it away and almost going in, just a little wide though. But look at all the Canberra Havoc members sitting in front of the net. Looks like it was the right place to be though, as it bounces right around where it should have got the goal.
If this was me playing, I'd be so tilted. I'd probably turn off the game at this point.
I'd have already quit. It's not good. You blame your teammates and you leave.
I just blame the universe. I mean, every time it's always the post. It's always so close and they just don't find it. Oh man, that is tough to watch.
Yeah, well, they still have plenty of time to go and set up one more. And let's not forget, Canberra Havoc have still struggled to get a goal for quite a while. Still struggled to even get a solid attack going. Kami in front of the net. CJ looked to come in and push it a little bit further, but didn't have the juice that was needed to push it in or the angle. And so with that, the Renegades will move back. go and grab some boost, move up to go and strike again. Or not. As Canberra Havoc push it forward.
Just a bit of a stalemate, really. It's just going back to Renegades, and then Canberra Havoc up the long clear, and no one's really chasing up, so it gives pressure back.
Yeah, a lot of time actually as they went to get the boost. A bit of a miss there by Tango, but it's all right. He's got teammates. Goes back over to the Renegade side. Can Canberra Havoc actually hold on to it? It doesn't look like it, so we may be seeing them go back on the defense, but with Tango winning that 50-50, if he can win this one, then we might actually get an attack finally from Canberra Havoc.
Sicky winning both 50-50, CJ, sorry, not Sicky, winning both 50-50s there. Sicky here looking for the pass, can't quite find a teammate. CJ puts it in the net, Tango just completely whiffs it on the post.
What was that angle as well? That was super interesting from the side there. You didn't really expect it, but CJ does come in and he does get a good enough angle, but yeah, Tango kind of wasn't expecting it either.
No, another mistake from Tango there, causing a goal. And I mean, it's been about maybe a whole game, including that overtime, that Canberra Havoc hasn't scored now. Could this be Renegades finally taking over the series?
Well, I mean, they've certainly taken over possession of the ball for most of the game, right? They've always had it in the blue side. Occasionally, Canberra Havoc will get it past, but Renegades just steal it right away back. And even if it takes a while, they get another attack rolling. And here we see it going up again. LeDuc needs to get back to help the defense. But he can't even get there in time because CJ scores.
They're just not getting out of their half convincingly. Kami just has all the time in the world in the air there and just gets the luck of it. Does get a little bump there, but CJ just has an open net to score on. It's just easy now for Renegades. You can't miss if there's no one really going for it.
Yeah, and also speaking of the 50s, speaking of the goals, Sicky looking to just send it by right after the kickoff, but he couldn't find it. But you're right, I mean, look, if Renegades always have it in your half, always keep you on the defense, that big fat 0 next to Canberra Havoc might stay that way. Unless they can start finding a conversion here. Can LeDuc steal it away? It goes over, and they can't bump it away. LeDuc finally getting that one on the board.
Great play shot by LeDuc there. It was just a bit of pressure from Tango. Makes Kami freak out a little bit and go for an awkward save, and then LeDuc just has a little opportunity to shoot there and manages to find that small window where CJ couldn't get it.
Yeah, and he just had no contest either, so he could put plenty of power into it, get the angle he wanted, plenty of time. So, moving on, they're still 1 point down, and it's the Renegades onto the defense again, but they've been winning so many 50s in their own half to just send it back down. And look, they're even looking to set up another attack here if they can continue to win these 50s, but LeDuc sends it away from them and says, no, 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 no. We've got one, we want to make that 2.
Here goes Tango in the air. Doesn't quite get the corner there, so it doesn't go into the middle. Walcott retrieves it, tries to find the pass. Sicky beats him to it, gives it off to CJ, who's now taking this up. Doesn't win the 50-50 though.
Yeah, well, they can keep pushing it away. They're holding on to all the boost on their own side as well, so Renegades always have all the resources they need, and now that they're pushing it forward, they take a shot, and it's as easy as pie when it's set up like that. CJ, number 3.
Yeah, Sicky being a bit patient here, waiting for LeDuc to challenge, and then reading it so he could win that 50-50. Manages to get a bit of luck to it to pop off to CJ, but good positioning from CJ to strike that one home when it came to him.
And this is looking a little bit more like how we expected this series to go. There is still just under a minute and a half to go right now. Canberra Havoc can certainly even things up, but we'll have to see if they can do it. There's not a lot of time to get those 2 needed goals on the board, especially when they're playing defense again. Do Renegades have an opportunity to send it down? No, they're going to have to go back to the defense, steal the boost away, steal the ball away, but keep it midfield for now.
Sicky with the pre-flip there almost gets that touch over LeDuc. Oh, as this goal just comes out of nowhere, really. Just the rotation's not there.
I mean, you see Kami just sending it on by, and then the disruption comes from Kami himself and just pitches it.
He just dunks on him. He puts himself in the position to not allow that clearance, and that is a great play from Kami.
And with that, 3 goals ahead, you've got to say it might be done and dusted here for Renegades, getting another one, moving on to match points. Of course, we'll see what Canberra Havoc can get done in the meantime, but I have a feeling when games go this way, the teams tend to let a few more goals in.
Every time I see Tango on the wall, it's making me a bit scared for Canberra Havoc there. He just is constantly not moving and going for balls that he shouldn't go for and not going for the ones he should. And yeah, just indecisive is the word.
Oh, good redirect by CJ there into the corner where no one can get to it in time. Number 5, just really getting the salt shaker out of the cupboard and just going right up to Canberra Havoc and just squeezing it into their wounds, rubbing it all in there.
Oh man,
that's a bit descriptive.
This is hard to watch at this point. I think the only way that Canberra Havoc could really turn this series around is if they play like how they did last season. If I take you all the way back then, where when they played against the Renegades, what they did is they played like the Renegades, and they had it in their half, and Renegades couldn't do anything with it. But here, they're just letting them play their play style, letting them just beat them to every ball, steal their boost away, and just strangle them in their own half, and that's how they want to play, and they're just allowing it.
Well, with 5 seconds to go, I don't think they can get a goal a second at this point here, especially Renegades can find another one in, just for a little bit of fun, but it does touch the ground. Renegades taking game number 2, moving on to match point here, and I'm feeling like it's going to be a quick 3-0. I mean, unless Canberra Havoc can move back to what we saw in game number 1, but it honestly looks like that was mostly Renegades having a whole lot of holes in their play, and in game number 2, they fixed them.
Canberra Havoc had 1 shot that whole game. They had 1 shot. It was a goal, so well struck. I mean, good conversion rate, but that is awful to see. I mean, yeah, I want them to play a bit more aggressive. I want them to take it to Renegades. It's the only way they're going to maybe crawl back into the series.
Well, see, I think they're trying. I think they're trying to be aggressive, but every time they get it just a little bit too far, then they even think about leaving their own half, Renegades come in and say, no, no, no. We're on the attack. We're going to keep winning the ball. We're going to keep pushing it into your half and keep taking our own shots. And as you can see, eventually a lot of them do go in game number 2. And so they've never really had an opportunity to even try to be aggressive.
They just don't look confident. Every ball they're going for, it doesn't look like they think they could win it. They're just throwing themselves there because they have to, and they're scared that it's going to go in their net. They're not being composed when it's in their own half. They're just freaking out. But, I mean, props to Renegades. They're playing well.
Yeah, well, I mean, Renegades are just keeping Canberra Havoc on the line right now. So it is a lot to ask Canberra Havoc. Hey, look, you just step up to the Renegades level and shut them down. Stop them stealing the ball from you. So like, that is the way to win for sure. But yeah, you can't really just ask a team to do that. So Renegades, when they're playing on this level, always look unstoppable in the Oceanic region. So, I mean, you got to feel for Canberra Havoc a little bit because this win would be really important to them, especially after Renegades losing last week.
Yeah, this is a big bounce back win, and I think CJ as well wanting to bounce back from last season's playoffs and scored 4 goals in that last game. So it's definitely getting that revenge that he was looking for.
Yeah, well, Renegades want to get this one rolling hot, and just remember what happened in game number 2. They kept it in the blue half so often, and every time they got it here, where you see the ball right now, this happens. Although, we don't usually see this happen, where they win a contest, but other members of Renegades just come in and steal it away. Demo means that they might get a good shot. Walcott can't get high enough.
I'm just going to take this back to the Walcott there looking for the challenge, and there was no one looking for the second ball. Is a bit unlucky with Tango's clearance to hit Leduc there, but there's just no one really following up that second ball, and they're just allowing Renegades to get it and put it into their own half. They need to be contesting in the midfield and keep it in Renegades' half. Renegades with a good kickoff there, but Walcott trying to send it away, but already it's just stolen away. They might get another good shot here coming around from the side. Tango is looking to push it away, but can Renegades find a good shot from center field? They're going to have to get it back there now, unfortunately, but Canberra Havoc finally in position to move it away. But just like every other part of the game, Renegades push it right back. So, just a bit of ping pong here at the moment. Actually looking a little bit better for Canberra Havoc, but like usual, the Renegades finally get it past. And they're going to win this 50-50. In fact, no one really goes for it, but it does roll in the favor of the Renegades. No one looking to take the shot just yet, but with CJ actually picking up that boost, he might be looking to do that, just that. Looking for the pass, waiting for the pass. So is Siki. One of these Renegades members looking for it, but Siki takes the shot instead, and it gets saved. Good save by Tango there. It's just kind of waiting in net. They almost always have to have a keeper there. They're not really playing as a team. They're playing as 2 players upfield and 1 at the back. Canberra have been winning a lot more of these 50-50s though now, which is certainly what they need to do. They just need to start doing it in this side of the field when they can start securing the goals here. That's a 50-50 that's looking pretty good, but they're going to have to push it back over to center field. They hold on to possession, going right over the heads of the Renegades, but they push it away back to the middle of the field. Can they take a shot from it? Not with 3 Renegades there. Yeah, I would say Canberra Havoc's... Oh, wow, that is just too easy for CJ. I mean, great control in the air to get this on target when he's put it wide, and then just, man, gets around the ball, taps it into an open net. But it's just Canberra Havoc. They'll go for these 50-50s, and you say they are looking better, but there's still no one following it up. There's no second man, and that's really what's crushing them here. I mean, it was looking better for a minute. Oh, no, he's got an open net. CJ, time to play with it. Walcott comes back, does reach Kami, puts it up, tries to get the second touch, but doesn't quite put it on target. CJ will send this back into the middle. Kami again getting onto the wall. The bump's coming up from Siki. CJ beats the keeper, puts it in the net. That's a 3-0 lead with not even 3 minutes gone on the clock.
And man, that just looked like such an annoyance for LeDuc as well. It's one thing to get bumped just a little bit, but he was bumped 2 or 3 times. It was several seconds of being locked up. He couldn't get there as he just had to literally watch the ball just bounce into his goal. Really rough for the Canberra Havoc right now, and it's also not too surprising that Renegades have picked up the momentum. They usually do this. They get a close game number 1 and then just send it against their opponents in the next few games. And with a 3-0 already, they're looking to make the series a 3-0. But there's still a bit of time for Canberra Havoc, but they're going to have to start picking up these attacks very, very, very soon.
It's so strange to say that Canberra Havoc were the second place team last season if you just base it on this series. They're getting stomped by Renegades.
I mean, you know what this looks like?
Yeah,
It looks like the grand finals.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But it's just, yeah, at least in the grand final they managed to take a game and they looked a bit better, but this is just a clean takeout.
I mean, the difference to them in the grand final, I mean, we'll maybe talk about that in a second. It's Canberra Havoc. No one catches it there. Everyone going for the ball. And will they still win it? LeDuc has to rush back. He's got no boost. Can he really take a shot from this? Actually gets it past some of the Renegades, but with no boost, he has to get back. Tango pushing it to the side. He can't really find an angle. Everyone from Canberra Havoc is rushing for this one, but they're going to have to get back because Renegades see it and they're going to be able to take a shot, especially with a demo onto Tango.
But you see how much panic Renegades had when all 3 members of Canberra Havoc were in their half. They just challenge every ball and Renegades can't get it out. They panic, they don't know what to do, and then that's where your opportunities come. That's where they falter, but they're not really taking the game to them. They haven't. That was probably the only chance we actually saw of that playing, but a great double touch coming there from Siki, lays it up to Kami. It's 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, Siki just looking for a pretty sweet little shot at the goal, but knows that if it doesn't go in, well, it sets up his teammate, and Kami can just send it right in like that. So 4-0. You've got to say Renegades are just about to win the series 3-0 right now. A very, very easy, clean sweep. I mean, maybe they got a little touchy in game number 1. In fact, very touchy in game number 1, but they've certainly tied their play up right now. Canberra Havoc looking for a bit of a fairy tale win here.
One thing that's looking a bit confusing to me is who do you give MVP to when it's not really Renegades playing amazingly well. I mean, that's a good shot there from Kami to redirect it, but it's just more Canberra Havoc letting them play.
I've got to say, I mean, CJ's had some pretty good plays as well. Been apart from a few moments in game number 1, mostly consistent as we moved into game 2 and here number 3. Also picking up most of the goals as well, so I'd say he's on track for MVP there, but I will let the series play out. See who else could maybe contend for it as Renegades once more get a good kickoff. And wow, this is really looking like the grand final last year.
Oh, this is
because
so hard to watch,
the final game of the grand final was what, like 10-1? Did they get to 10 or like 10-0?
I can't remember. I think it was 10. I think they did reach double digits and we were all cheering for it. But yeah, this is not what we want to see. I wanted to see a repeat of last season, week 2, where Canberra Havoc, the Ninjas at the time, took them down, but we did not really get a series. Only the first game looking close.
Yeah, and the big difference between the grand finals, Renegades going to take another shot, easy as pie to get that one and to make it the number lucky 7. But going back to the grand final, last year, Canberra Havoc were stoked to even be there because it meant, cool, we're going to Worlds, we're still getting a sick prize. It'll be cool to beat them, but then as games went on, I think they realized it wasn't going to happen and just relax a little bit. Here though, this game actually does matter. It matters a lot.
This could put them in last place if the other results go the other team's way. You could see Canberra Havoc alone down there, but I don't think that's going to happen as some of the matches are a little more favoured to some teams that have already picked up that win. But still, this is a team 2 seasons ago didn't pick up a single win. So is this just resorting back to that?
I mean, perhaps. Of course, this is only week number 2, and this is also the result we expected from the Renegades, so it's pretty hard to criticize Canberra Havoc a lot for this series because Renegades are playing on some pretty good form this week. Remember, Renegades came off a loss last week against Mindfreak, so they would have put in the hard yards to really make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, but we could see a goal here for Havoc to make it the Brazil scoreline. No, Renegades are wanting to keep that clean sheet in the game number 3, a 7-0 win in game number 3 to take the series. Great play from Renegades, all of the members scoring, all of them looking very, very good in this match.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think I'm going to stick to my guns here. I think CJ should be looking for their MVP slot. Honorable mention to Siki, and I mean, it's hard not to give it to Kami as well, but Siki stepping up a lot during the final game there. Of course, it's hard to put much worth into that final game because it felt like
it was 7-0.
It felt like Canberra Havoc almost gave up at that point.
For sure.
So for me, I'd say CJ.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. I think that second game was the really decider one. You saw the first game obviously go to overtime and Renegades just clinching it there. And then after that, Renegades just took away with the wins and got all those goals and just put it to bed early. And good to see from them. I did want to see them start a little bit more strong in the first match. We did see those missed shots and stuff like that coming out from CJ, but corrected himself in the second game, carried on the form. Great play from him.
Well, there it is. Renegades picking up a quick, clean 3-0. Maybe a little dirty on game number 1, but the results speak for themselves, and it's going to look great on the leaderboard later on. Statistics, probably going to be a little interesting in terms of shot percentage because of that overtime specifically. But that's it. Renegades picking up the win. They'll move up the leaderboard to at least some of the other teams. They're probably going to be middle of the pack somewhere. But unfortunately for Canberra Havoc, they're going to be sitting right down at the bottom at the end of this week. But that said, we still have 3 more matches. So, ladies and gentlemen, after the break, we've got Mindfreak versus Overt. So I hope you're going to be sticking around for that one because I want to see if Mindfreak are still on form.
This is just clinical. Yes! Let's all strategize. Get the ball here.
Beep, 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 a rocket gives you that. Beep, beep,
Need a ride? Thanks to Ola and Let's Play Live, we are hooking you up. Simply apply the code on screen to get your first ride free. T's and C's apply.
すみません、そこで止まってください。
いいじゃないか。
Thanks, Lee.
This is just clinical.
And the show returns as we are coming back after match number 1. Renegades picking up a very clean 3-0 against the Canberra Havoc in a rematch of the grand final last season. But here we are back. We've got 3 more games coming up for us now. It's Mindfreak versus Overt.
I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, Mindfreak for me were so impressive last week. We'll get into the team soon, but Ghost and Requiem linking up was fantastic to see. Both those players just finding each other out of nowhere and just destroying Renegades.
And I want to go all the way back to about this time in the last season because we had a similar thing where it was Attack of the Invisible Ninja took out Renegades kind of out of nowhere, and then the following week they kind of dropped off a little bit. I mean, they came back later on in the season, but it looked like it was a bit of a fluke in that week. So the question is, Did the same thing happen for Mindfreak against Renegades last week? Was it a bit of a fluke, or will they continue their powerful run here in week number 2 against Overt? Let's take a look at that matchup again. It's Mindfreak versus Overt.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Mindfreak are actually a very solid team. Requiem was a player for me that was near the top in terms of an MVP performance until maybe the finals where he was studying and he had his exams and stuff like that, so he didn't have enough practice. But yeah, Ghost and Requiem just doing so well last week, and even Fever.
All right, well, first team going to be a Mindfreak, so let's talk about that roster. You already mentioned Requiem, but his teammates, Ghost and Fever, they all put on a spectacular performance last week. Ghost actually picking up the MVP.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Ghost our MVP. I mean, he picked it up week 1 last season as well, and then faltered, so I would want to see him continue on this form. I think he's got a team around him that can help him do that, and even Fever played solid as a rookie.
And Overt will be their opponent, so let's take a look at their roster as well, with a few new additions as well. Noisy, Zen, and Misty all coming onto the field again. Misty being the big name from last season, but these other two, they put on some pretty good performances too.
Yeah, Zen, even a big player, was playing Renegades 2 seasons ago, and I expected more from them coming back into the league. I think this is a team that has potential to do well, and on paper these teams look like a good matchup, but with Overt kind of slipping last week against Fury, a team that I didn't actually pick to be as high up, I want to see them bounce back.
Yeah, well, this is going to be their good opportunity. I mean, there's not much we can say for one match from Fury, but let's take a look at the featured player matchup. It's going to be Requiem and Misty here from both sides. I mean, both Mindfreak, of course, had a better performance last week against their matchup, so these stats probably going to look a little stronger on that side.
Yeah, I think Misty being on the back foot in that series, so you see the saves up but not getting too many goals for himself. I think he left it up to maybe Zen and Noisy there. I think Noisy had a good performance as a rookie, but Misty, the keeper, but if he's got to step up if he wants to keep Requiem and Ghost out. Both of them linking up well. You see both the goals there and the shots. Ghost was just popping it up to him and he was putting them away.
Is it maybe a little bit crazy to say that Overt relies on Misty carrying the team? Or is that a little harsh on his
That's a bit
teammates?
crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, I would say Zen and Noisy, good players. Misty as well. But I think if they do want to win this series, they all have to step up. It's not one person carrying. Misty, I don't think played too well last week. I thought he was a lot more solid in the previous season.
Yeah,
so.
well, it's a bit of a larger sample, including last season.
For sure, yeah. But Zen, I want to see come back. He was a dominant player a couple seasons ago. I mean, he was in the top team that won. I mean, I want to see that Zen back. He's been playing on a different team with a Japanese guy and someone else. And yeah, they've been playing really well. They've been in the gauntlet and stuff like that. So I want to see that Zen, who's not just been on holiday the last couple seasons, but he's been practicing. I want to see him show us what he's got.
Okay, for Mindfreak though, what did they do right last week that you want to see again here today for them to just take over Overt and get another win on the board?
Yeah, well, it's just that. It's Ghost and Requiem just linking up the whole time, and it was so impressive to see. I knew both these players were solid mechanically, and Ghost was actually a really great striker, even being on, I think, last place team they were. So he was, a standout player for me last season. Requiem as well. I said he was an MVP performer. Got snatched up by Siki in the final weeks, I think. And Fever's just letting them do their thing. He's sitting back, or he's there when he needs to challenge, and yeah, he's given enough space for the other players to kind of shine.
Yeah, and there were a lot of hopes on Mindfreak last season, and maybe they disappointed a little bit in terms of what we thought they could do. But I mean, it's been a strong start to the season. I mean, about as strong as it could possibly be, taking out the defending champions. So all things considered, this should just be another cleanup win for them, right? I mean, this is Overt, just getting them out of the way. You want to get to the big dogs like Cringe Society and Ground Zero a little later on.
Definitely, and I think momentum's a key thing here, especially for Fever being a rookie. If we just put it down to Fever versus Noisy as the rookies in this game, one having the loss, one having the win, that's so good for your mentality. Now Fever goes into this game like, sweet, I could play, I'm not nervous anymore, whereas Noisy's maybe scrapping like, we need to win, I need to get those wins under my belt. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I want to see Noisy play well again, because in their matchup against Fury, it was him versus Amphis for me all the way, and both of them were showing off, and the game that they did win, it was Noisy popping off. So if he can carry on that sort of performance, I could see them start to take some games off Mindfreak, but I'm calling it Mindfreak for sure.
Yeah, well, Mindfreak certainly looking like the favourites. Do you think it's enough to call it as a 3-0? Are Overt going to come in and take some of these games off? Are they going to be close?
I don't know, it's an interesting question.
Like, do you think it's going to be closer than what we saw in game number 1 in the first series?
Yeah, I think it's going to be closer than that. On paper, these teams are evenly matched, but if you just look at last week, Mindfreak are head and shoulders above Overt for sure. As we see Overt here starting on the attack, Mindfreak getting out of their half there, and we're into the game.
Real aggressive start coming out from Overt, but it's very quickly put them back onto the defense here as Mindfreak just looking to clear it around over to their corner, basically saying, don't come and get the ball here, Overt. We're going to send it over, try and roll it on by, gets it over the heads of one player, but not Noisy, who pushes it back and perhaps even starts their own attack.
Yeah, good little pass there from Fever.
No!
How did that not get snatched up by Overt? Someone should have been there at the back post. Again, that was just both teams getting in some good passes in, but not having that second man to just tuck it away.
Yeah, really expecting it there, but the game is still very early, not even a minute past just yet, so we may see more and more of those attacks coming on a little bit later on. Fever looking to steal it away, trying to contest this one, going super hard for it, but hands it right over to Zen, who gets it to the corner, gets it to the center, and the easiest setup, the biggest solo play with a little bit of help from his opponents.
Yeah, who was that in net that just left it? Was it Ghost? No, it was Requiem. Didn't even jump for it. Misread it off the wall. That is an early mistake. Gonna have to bounce back from that mentality. Can't let that slip. That's a 1-0 lead to Overt.
And we talked about momentum, a great start there for Overt, especially Zen. Picking his play up and going to the performance we were expecting from him in week number 1. But it's still a long series to go, as 1 point certainly won't sell the entire series just yet. But Mindfreak are pushing it up. Ghost trying to get it past, but the 50-50 is there, but it gets bumped. Misty can't redirect it there and still steal it away. Actually, Requiem just drives right underneath it.
It carries him a little bit there. Requiem trying to get it over Zen there. Zen breathes it well as Fever pops it up for Ghost, puts it down, but the save's there. Comes down to Requiem, who hits the crossbar. Requiem reaps it up at the end. All 3 players being involved. What a goal from Mindfreak.
And that's exactly the type of play we saw when they beat the Renegades. They set these goals up, they just go for the shots, rotate in and out, and they always have someone there if it just gets cleared a little awkwardly by Overt or Renegades last week. So Mindfreak even it up with a great little attack.
Just forcing out those mistakes from Overt. I mean, you just put enough shots on, they're finally going to give you a little chance as we see Zen coming across to save that. Well, it's kind of creeping in. It was on target.
Okay, let's see if Mindfreak can go for a lot of these 50s. They are winning a fair amount of them right now. The question is, can they win them over on this side of the field? Fever waiting patiently to steal it away, but he's actually got Requiem in the back lines to help him out. Noisy doesn't get the clear that he wants, but it does pass over to his teammate. And so fighting for it in midfield, clearing it to himself, doesn't quite get it off the wall, but Fever is there. Can he redirect it? Actually pushes it underneath. Overt right there, but it's stolen away. Requiem back in the back line again to keep it over there on the orange side.
Fever's playing a little cheeky game, isn't he? He's just
very
waiting
naughty.
for it and knocks it under him. I like that. That's good to see. It's very entertaining.
He's being very cheeky and actually winning a lot of these 50s as well. He's going to go in and steal this one, actually just redirect it right into the goal. A brilliant little play. He sneaks up there.
Yeah, Requiem just out-muscles 2 players from Overt there. Manages to get the luck of that 50-50, and Fever tucks it into the left corner. Could have easily whiffed that.
And you've got to say, Mindfreak, every single player looks like they are on the same page right now. They're on the same sentence in the book.
Yeah, it looks like a team that's played together for a couple seasons. They just know where each other are. Those rotations from them are just what's giving them the lead here and letting them stay on the attack without conceding too many shots.
And just the small 1v1 things like this, the 50-50s where they're just winning so often. They don't quite win that one, as Zen does get a little bit of an attempt there, but it's quickly stolen away. Fever right past over there. Can he steal it away here? He's going to look to try and contest something, but of course he's got his teammate there to back it up. Ghost's going to try and steal it away, and Fever ever so patiently waiting in position, takes a shot. It's saved, but it's still looking like Mindfreak can take a few more.
That was a good save by Misty. That was a very dangerous shot. Good chances from Mindfreak here. You can see them. We talked about it in the game before where Havoc just wasn't following up that second ball, but Mindfreak's doing exactly that, and we can see how effective it is.
Yeah, it's just working out so well, already getting 2 on the board. But now they might have to play defense a little bit as just kidding, it's stolen away as they are going for a lot of these 50-50s. This is kind of like what Renegades were doing in the earlier series, and it's working out wonders for them. And the difference is they're actually finalizing their attacks. Misty looking to take a shot, bounces it off the wall, but a little wide means that, well, it's going to stay in the hands of Mindfreak.
Yeah, open net there. Probably should have put it away, but just didn't quite get round the ball for that double touch. As we see the pass coming from Requiem there. A little bump on Fever means he misses it, but Ghost picks it up. Can't force it through Noisy. And Zen will try and clear it as Requiem snatches in the corner. But here, all three players from Over. The pass to Zen, blocked by Fever.
Yeah, and that block just very much secured it there for them right now as they buy those extra few seconds, the vital few seconds. Requiem right up into the air. If it's stolen away, it could have been bad, but it is not stolen away. He holds onto it. And the clock is running down for Over, who are going to have to start making a risky play here as they're going for all these contests. They're starting to win some of them, but Requiem sends it back.
Yeah, got to be careful going in the offense, though, because Mindfreak are a team that could just pump it up and score on you instantly and just put this game to bed. Only one goal in it, though, with 24 seconds. We see a chance coming out. Noisy puts the shot on. Freak misses, clears it, sorry, as Misty takes it back up on the wall, tries to find a teammate. Requiem should be up to this. No, it just gets whipped there by Noisy, and we see it go back the other way. No one there to put that shot in as Razan takes it up now.
But that's what they needed. That's what they needed. With the clock ticking down, they're going to have to pray for a 0-second goal, which is all but impossible because it's rolling along the ground, and Mindfreak pick up game number 1. Kind of close, but it looked very Mindfreak dominating near the end.
Yeah, I'd say Over it just looked like they were maybe lagging a little bit behind, not in terms of actual ping in the game, but just
brain lag?
Yeah, brain lag or rotation lag, maybe. They were always the second person to get to the ball. You saw Mindfreak winning those 50-50s, and then that second player always there to follow it up, just giving so much pressure and time for their attacks.
Fever. What a great player in that game, right? He was so cheeky on a lot of the plays, just getting it past so many members of Overt, just every single member, right? No one could really block it out from him, and he's very creative in a lot of his plays as well.
I was going to say, very creative player. I didn't expect it from him. I think last week we just saw him kind of sit in that last man role where he just bought enough time for his players to rotate, and it was the Ghost and Requiem show. But we saw it here. He's taking over. He's like, no, listen here. I've got something to say about this. He's putting on a show for us.
Yeah, and it's been really exciting. I think he can continue to keep it up as well. It doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. He's got his team to back him up. Mindfreak last week looked consistent across the board in all of the games they played. So it doesn't feel like we're going to have the momentum fall off or Overt just looking like they're a little level below right now in terms of it. So I feel like they just have to step up their play if they have a hope of it. Because Mindfreak, you can't rely on them making mistakes this week, or this season at all, apparently.
Yeah, I think Overt just need to clean up their mistakes. That's the only thing that's faltering them here. I mean, that was a 2-1 game.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
one
it was
goal.
Close.
And they had the shots. They had the shots on, but they were just with it. And that's what it's coming down to, individual error. It's not the team playing bad at all.
Okay, let's kick off game number 2 here. Mindfreak already won a game up right now. We saw a good kickoff in game 1 by Overt, and let's keep things consistent. Let's get another one.
Wow, what a start for them. 6 seconds on the board. Zen unlucky to not get the shot. Fever couldn't get a good clearance. We were praising him and probably shouldn't have. We kind of jinxed him a little bit there. Noisy reaping the reward in the end.
All right, well, this is feeling similar to game number 1. Overt got an early point on the board, and then it was all downhill after that as Mindfreak picked up another 2. So let's see what they can do again, but Overt, once more, continuing their offense, being very aggressive, going to steal the ball here. Zen going to take a shot, just drives right through Ghost, but it's not in the position to get that one in the net, and so he's going to have to rush back for defense with the rest of his team. Mindfreak going forward, looking to send it by. Requiem gets it by 1, but he's taken out of the play with that demo.
Interesting to note, Mindfreak actually conceded the least goals last week, so very interesting to see them falter in the early stages of both these 2 games that have been played and scoring, conceding in that early kickoff.
Okay, so Overt have had plenty of time to get all the way back for the defense here. They can send it on down, but Mindfreak have been so good at stealing it away, stopping the attack. But Noisy's waiting in the wings, sends it by, looking for his teammate. Zen looking for his moments.
Requiem, that was great from him. Just buying enough time, beating the player. Can he do anything here? Misty reads it well. Didn't have his team to follow him, but here we go. Misty clearing it.
Yeah, I think Fever's trying to be a little too cheeky there, but there it goes. Right by, but there is someone still there in goal, so Ghost will keep this one out. Can he hold on to it? It's a bit awkward there.
Yeah, a bit of a miss hit there. It was a good pass from Fever out to him to find him in the defensive half. And it's impressive to see a rookie like that looking for the passes in his own half. Usually we just see them whack it up the field and buy a little time, but Mindfreak playing as a unit, that one, we'll say, was a pass to Requiem, but he doesn't catch it, as we see 2 on none as Noisy puts it in the net again. That's a 2-0 lead to Overt in game number 2. What a bounce back.
Yeah, too fast. He sees his moment, goes for it, and just right before anyone from Mindfreak can get there, he punishes them, sends it in for 2-0 lead right now. This is looking a lot stronger for Overt, but it still doesn't look as consistent as the Mindfreak win.
I've got to say, both those goals came down to Fever's errors. You saw him knock it backwards past Requiem there, and then also the first goal just not doing well in net. So, yeah, not good after we praised him so highly.
Yeah, well, he's still got a little time to step it up. There's still over 3 minutes to go, and Overt so far are holding onto the ball pretty well, but everyone's just respecting each other there for that ball. Ghost bumps it over someone's head there and even moves it continuing through the field, but it does get cleared off to the side. Misty going to send it on down, but right into the hands of Mindfreak.
And there's been some good little mechanical plays coming out from both teams here. It's fun to see.
Very exciting. A lot of just one-on-one mechanics plays and just outplays as well as Fever goes right over the head, goes for the block. Is there someone else? He sets it up to himself, but that shot was never going to work as it gets blocked away. Ghost going to push it back forwards, but it goes right into the hands of Overt. Do they win the 50-50? It doesn't look like it. It's over to the hands of Requiem, who misses it just a little bit, which means that he doesn't get the clear that he wanted.
Ooh, good little pass from Misty there. 3 players in net, though. He wasn't going to put that in. Well, what I was going to say was Ghost looking for the demo plays. It's nice to see them maybe change up their pace and try something new. We didn't really see that in game number 1. Instead of just forcing it.
Well, game number 1 certainly worked out for Mindfreak, so who knows if they actually need to change anything at all, but Requiem just waiting, again, patiently, does steal it away.
Good flick. Can he beat this?
Oh,
It
wow.
goes up to Fever. We couldn't quite see it. Ghost is up for this. Beat wins it, but Misty reads it like a book, takes it out of the air. Requiem looking for the pass, doesn't win the 50-50, and Noisy will buy a bit of time. Misty wins that 50-50. The third one, 50-50, I guess. It was in the middle of either team. Mindfreak wins it. Requiem's on the wall. Fever knocks it off the wall. Ghost goes up. Shot hits the crossbar. Fever gets blocked by Zen in the final moments there. Oh, it should have been a goal.
And in this series, it's the Mindfreak special, but Overt finally managed to find a way to block it. All 3 strikes going down. Now they get to mount their own attack, but it's very, very quickly shut down by Mindfreak. They push it back, and now we're back to ping pong here. Can they hold position, and can they get it to the net? It gets cleared to the corner, though.
See a little shot here.
Oh, what?
Oh, that is unlucky. Good 50-50 from Zen here. Wins it cleanly against Fever, who's coming off the wall, so couldn't get a good touch to it. And Ghost and Requiem both looking for boost. They weren't expecting that.
It honestly looked like he would have got there in time as well, so Ghost's going to feel pretty bad about missing that one. So Overt with a 3-point lead. You got to say they might be looking to pick up game number 1 here.
Oh, but the kickoff going Mindfreak's way. Requiem puts it in. Just a good 50-50 in the midfield there. Beats 2 with it.
And all of a sudden, Mindfreak are actually almost back into this one. It's hard, but not unreasonable to get 2 goals here in 1 minute right now.
We've seen stranger things tonight.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
2 goals in a minute is not unbelievable.
Yeah, 3 goals maybe, but 2 goals? Let's see what Mindfreak can do. A good kickoff means that they get to set it up. Requiem's going to have to win this one, but he's just a little too early into the sky there. They're going to have to take their time on this one.
Noisy wins it, but Ghost's taking it up now. They need to get a goal now, though, because it's going to be hard to score 2.
Yeah, well, Requiem's been great at just muscling out the ball from Overt, but just a little bit too scary, a little bit too risky here. They are running out of time. Like you said, they have to start getting these goals right now as Overt are just contesting. Good little bumps coming out from Mindfreak means that they can actually start getting another attack going. Can they push it over past Overt, right over their heads?
He's looking for the pass.
He's looking for the shot
here.
The shot.
Doesn't quite get anything on it. Didn't have enough boost to really be tricky with it. And we just see here 50 seconds to go. I think Overt can clinch this one, unless we see some strange things.
Yeah, I mean, Mindfreak just had to start going for some of the risky plays as the clock goes down. So now they're just looking for one more feel-good goal here. As the clock does run down. It's going to be Overt taking out game number 1. We've got a tied series up.
Yeah, great play by Overt there. Very clean. Not many mistakes. Only the 1 goal coming from that double commit off the kickoff. But other than that, their kickoffs have been great. They've They've cleaned up those mistakes, and Zen, even with just one goal, manages to clinch that MVP in that one there. 8 points over Misty, both of them playing well.
Yeah, I've got to say, Zen looked great in that game. I mean, he was starting to look good in game number 1. It fell off a little bit, but game number 2, he was great throughout the whole thing. So, Overt, now suddenly looking like the stronger team. I mean, of course, we'll have to see in game number 3.
Yeah.
But in terms of which team dominated the other one the most in the games that they won, Overt are looking better.
In goals, yes. I would say Mindfreak's still inching ahead. I think it was just individual errors there. So again, I said the last game for Overt, but now I'm going to have to say it for Mindfreak. They just need to clean up those mistakes. It was Fever that did make 2 mistakes that cost the goals, and if he hadn't, that would have gone to overtime, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it's always got to feel bad as well when you're like, you've got the momentum rolling. You're like, cool, we won game number 1. It was a bit close, but we won game number 1, and then suddenly kickoff goal. Like, there's always got to feel bad as well, especially in one that you end up losing. In fact, when you could have just moved to match point, get a quick 3-0, but now they're in it for the long haul.
And these kickoffs at the start of the game, I think Mindfreak really need to clean it up there. That's twice in a row. That is very interesting to see. I mean, props to Overt. Maybe they have a game plan going into those kickoffs and they kind of purposely lose it to gain possession, but Mindfreak just faltering at the start and then finally finding their feet, but it's already too late because Overt to put the game to bed.
Yeah, well, they've got their opportunity to come back here in game number 3. And let's take a look at it as it does kick off. Remember, Overt have had some fantastic kickoffs. It looks like they're going to get another great one as it does just get stolen away, though.
Yeah, Fever clinching it there. Ghost, one-on-one. Can he do it? Doesn't. He does win the 50-50 past Zen. He was so solid in game number 2, but just couldn't muscle that up from Ghost.
And Zen's going to be kicking himself for that one as well. We just talked about how bad it feels to concede kickoff goals like this. I mean, it's kind of a kickoff goal, I guess, but Mindfreak, first point on the board.
Man, that is such a good mentality boost to win that 50-50 there. Just puts himself in a place that Zen just had no chance of clearing it. And Ghost comes at it again, a 1v2 there, but couldn't quite find the flick. Requiem will pick it up in midfield, knocks it down to Zen. Does have the shot, and Fever blocks it.
Yeah, but no one else to go up for those follow-up shots. I mean, there is...
Good demo, there's no one in net.
The demo is there, no one in net, just like you said. The door is wide open, and Ghost heads straight to it. 30 seconds, 2 points ahead.
Overt should have scored, though. You saw that shot that hit the post, and then it came back for the defender. I can't remember who got demoed there, but good play from Mindfreak. Take him out, and then steal that goal there. That's a 2-goal lead in 30 seconds. They're out to fight for this.
Okay, so going into this one again, Overt on a serious back foot right now. Of course, they've got plenty of time, but if Mindfreak keep this up, this could be looking like that Renegades game with, what, 7-0?
Yeah, I do want to see that. I mean, we saw some great goals from Requiem and Ghost in that match, so hoping for some more of that as we see Fever just getting a crucial touch on it. The pass coming in, Fever knocks it away. Requiem up to this, buys some time for his team to rotate up, doesn't win the 50-50 in front of net. That gets booted all the way to midfield where Misty will collect it.
Yeah, now his team just had no boost left after all those commits. Now in front of the Mindfreak net, it's Overt just looking to strike it in. Misty waiting patiently for his moment to go in and strike. Fever going to try and outplay all of Overt. It looks like he gets past most of them, but sends it straight over to Misty in the sky. Sorry, Misty, Ghost.
Ghost missing that touch off the ceiling there, though. Could have actually had a shot on. Instead, just gives it straight over to Overt as we see a redirect by Misty there. Great shot. Double committed net, but it works out. The pass down. Zen misses the net again.
And now they've disrupted defenders, but they've had plenty of time to get into position and keep it out. Overt can't connect that goal, and now they've got to get on the defense. Mindfreak are looking to strike. A good clear coming out from Misty. He might even be able to convert it into a goal. It gets clear to the corner. A good one by Mindfreak, but Overt are not done yet.
Great defending by Ghost there. Just knew where the player was coming in and put it in a spot where he couldn't challenge it. Buys his teammates enough time to clear it, but pressure's still on. Overt are still putting this back in Mindfreak's half. Requiem doesn't win it there, but could he put this on target? No. Zen swipes it out of the air.
Yeah, really good 50-50 here, and there's just no boost over on the Overt side, so Mindfreak gonna have to go back, finish their attack. It's still bouncing around over there, but everyone's rushing back on the rotation here, expecting Overt to push it back. Going for a contest, Ghost sends it by, but Misty catches it up in the sky. It's just bouncing around, but in the Mindfreak side.
Yeah, Mindfreak being very clinical in their own half, getting these blocks that are so crucial, especially when it's the last man. But Overt with a lot of pressure here, just one mistake will get them back in this game.
Yep, Mindfreak, they're just holding on to this 2-goal lead. It's got to feel good, and still on the defense, but they're actually
that's
holding
a
it
win
out.
by Ghost. It's an open net again. No, the players come back. Couldn't win that 1v1 there to set it up for a teammate, and there it is, Overt hanging on. Can they find it at the other side and put them back into this game? There it is, the shot gets
save!
blocked by Fever. What a save!
Fever saw it coming and managed to get there in time, saving his team and just shutting the door on Overt. Now they've got to struggle so hard to get those 2 remaining points. It's still getting quite close there, but finally a good clear by Mindfreak sends Overt back, and they've got to start it all again.
I criticized him in game number 2, but he has made up for it in game number 3 here with that save there. That would have easily put Overt on the front foot there, putting them into the game, but still got to climb that mount of a 2-goal lead, possibly 3 if this is getting dangerous. Hits the post, and Overt is still in this.
Yeah, but Overt did have to rush to get to that one, so Fever is going to be able to catch this. Can he steal it away? Gets it by 1, gets it by 2.
Good
And that's a good push over to that side of the field. Can he even take a strike here? As, in fact, all members of Overt just go right by, and it goes in.
I think it was Misty in net there, needed to challenge. Look at him, just goes to goal instead. I think he gets the feels backflip, doesn't get it, and it's just stuck in net. Oh, that hurts to see.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it sends it up to a 3-0, which is basically impossible now for Overt to come back from, just makes you feel so awful for missing that block. So now Mindfreak are looking super strong. This is the team that looked like they beat the Renegades last week as well. Good contest.
Rowan. No, Fever!
Fever, you deserve to lose for that.
You lost all respect that you gained in this game by doing that.
You might win the series, but you've lost my heart.
Oh, I would be flaming him in team chat there. That is not good to see.
Well, he's got an opportunity. Maybe we'll see it in another game, but it is still.
Goes for some time. Can he find Requiem? He does, and there is the goal from Requiem. That link-up play that we like to see. I mean, maybe Rule 1 didn't curse them, but still 40 seconds. It could be an ultimate curse if we see them come back in this one.
No. So it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean curse on the Black Pearl.
Right. Takes some time.
You see it later, right?
Right.
So
okay.
he's going to go into some solo play later on and just get the worst teammates. He's going to get match made terribly. They're going to rage quit. They're going to disconnect, and it's going to feel bad for him. But he will win the series probably.
He deserves it though. You
He
can't
does.
break rule number 1.
No. Bad move there. But it is looking like his team are going to pick up the win here in game number 3 of the series, of course, because Overt did pick up that 1 win. So Mindfreak likely to just move on to a match point from here. Overt just want to find a goal here just to feel good. Remember, they haven't got a goal for a while. So that
As
one.
you say that, it goes in. Yeah, I just wanted to say before that, Ghost, his shots have been looking fresh though, haven't they? They've just gone in every time. I mean, he's always had so much space because Overt's pushing very far up, but manages to win 1v1s and get his team in the lead. I would give a lot of credit to him for this game win here.
Yeah, and Ghost's probably the biggest example of it, but overall the game has felt like Mindfreak are just outplaying on an individual level all across the map, all across the players, and all across the games. And so with the clock hitting 0, that's Mindfreak picking up game number 3, moving on to match point here. And you know what? This is the other rule 1, or rule 0 as some people say. Keep the ball in the air. Don't let it go down to the ground.
I think if you're Mindfreak, you just want to get into the next game, try and put the series to bed. They now have it on match point, as you said. Ghost there, what a performance to bounce back into game number 3.
Yeah, and it just feels like every player on Mindfreak are stepping up. We've had Fever step up, Requiem step up, and now Ghost stepping up as well. So all of these players looking good, and it's finally, there was a bit of a hiccup there in game number 2. So not sure exactly what was going on there. I feel like just a few mistakes here and there.
Yeah, it was just
Fever
errors.
particularly. But in game number 3, you got to say he picked it up. I mean, let's forget the rule 1 thing for just a moment there, because he did look fantastic.
I will not forget it.
Yeah,
I
no,
will
it's
let
fine,
him.
forget it.
I will remind him every week. Probably on Twitter, I'll send him a DM saying you shouldn't have done that, mate. But yeah, I mean, very solid.
Publicly tweet him. Come on.
Okay, yeah, I'll call him out. Why not?
Yeah, get the
I'll
ad there.
1v1 him.
Don't subtweet him.
No, I'm only joking. But yeah, very solid from them to bounce back from game number 2. It was a little dodgy in that game, so it was good to see that they just focused, knuckled down, got that win. Very convincing win, I might add, as well in game number 3. Putting some momentum into this game number 4. I would like to see Overt bounce back and finally get a game 5. We didn't have any last week.
I mean, they bounced back from game 1, but let's remember game 1 was a hell of a lot closer than this game. Game number 3, just completely dominating by Mindfreak. I mean, they didn't even get a good kickoff goal for Overt this time, so already they were on the back foot. So coming into game number 4, I feel like Mindfreak are looking to just clean it up. I mean, just finish it off, get a quick 3-1 victory. It wasn't quite what they wanted, but to come back from a loss like that in game 2, I mean, it says a lot about Mindfreak.
Yeah, I think if we want to see Mindfreak be a team that's challenging for that playoff spot, I know it's very early to say that, it's a bit rude, but I think if we want to kind of put them in that top 4 kind of tier, we need to see them close out the series without going to game 5. Game number 3 was so decisive. Game number 2 was just a bit shaky, and game number 1, they did enough.
Yeah, well, they've looked great as a team altogether and on an individual level too. Double commit there by Overt. Mindfreak could look to just finalize and just get another strike in. It gets cleared a little awkwardly, so that will be a good defense by Overt, who now push it off for an attack. A good save! Not quite good enough though. It bounces off the crossbar into his own net, and Misty, he'll get the credit for that one.
Well, I'm giving all the credit to Zen there. That catch to a pass was insane. That was such a good play. Put them in the lead in game number 4. Could see them bouncing back. Good shot from Misty as well to put enough on it to beat Ghost. Whew, we got a game.
Yeah, if there's any way to come back, it's going to be off a play just like that. So Mindfreak on the back foot again. They have won from this position before for sure. So Overt certainly not out of the fire just yet. But every time Mindfreak do push a little aggressively like that, they're going to have it in the back of their mind that that could happen again.
Misty beating Requiem there. Does win a little cheeky 50-50 there, but no one to follow it up. Fever managed to read it. As he tries to beat Noisy, does so. Collects it, but doesn't quite get the shot. I believe he got blocked.
Yeah, and so pushing it over. The contest is here. Fever just going to wait. Actually, just lets it bounce onto the ground. Gets up into the air. Can he get it by? He does indeed. Now it's all on Zen. It's actually all on his teammate. Double commit means that they could find something here, but time has gone on, and that means that they've had time to just get in position and hold it off.
Yeah, Noisy got blessed. Maybe it is the curse coming through for Fever, but as he came down, manages to just dunk himself on top of Requiem, which stopped the shot coming through that probably would have ended up in the net. Keeping his team alive as we see his shot coming on from Noisy there. Good save by Fever.
Yeah, a bit of a hope to get that one in from a bit far away. Fever can't get it past 2 members of Overt, but Requiem might be able to. Just kidding. It does get stolen away from him, but it is still in Mindfreak's possession if they can just push it forward again, pushing the defenders all over the place. They're struggling. They're rushing for the ball, but I think Overt have pushed it away.
Where's the follow-up? Ghost did so much for that goal, that shot there, that play, but no one there to follow it up and put in the easy goal when he's done all the hard yards. And we see it's back in their half. They've got to fight for it, use all the boosts to get it up. Requiem with a bit of a musty flick to try and get it into the middle, but doesn't quite get the contact he's looking for. And Overt will get it out as Zen on the counter-attack.
Not again.
Ooh,
not again, because Mindfreak are there to defend in time. Misty trying to contest that one, but he gets bumped all over the place. Overt actually holding onto the ball in this side, but a good clear there coming out from Mindfreak means that Overt, well, they do have to start this one again.
All 3 players from Mindfreak back behind halfway. Very defensive from them, but when he seemed offensively, a good pass down there. Requiem turned away as he knew the keeper had it. Fever bumping Zen, so there's no counter-attack, and Requiem collects it. Misses the contact on the flip.
Well, Fever going to try and go for the steal there. It does get cleared over to the side. Over to Requiem. Can he find it? Doesn't look like it. So Overt going to push it forward. Going to look to take a strike, but it is stolen away. Misty also going for the strike, but misses that one too. It's stolen away. They've got time. Ghost.
Oh, he went for the bump play. He hit it and went for the bump play. Couldn't find either of the keepers and does get blocked. It's Requiem with the double touch. Doesn't go in. Fever's there.
They're still going. They're still going.
Post twice. Oh no, should have scored there. What a play from Requiem. His teammates just not doing enough to put that in as we see Ghost and Requiem going up for there. Not the communication we like to see as the bump comes through. And Fever hits the crossbar. Wow, how have they not scored?
And still no one there to send that one in again. It could have been a good shot, but Mindfreak are still holding on to this one here. Eventually, they're going to start running out of this boost and have to run back, but they're still trying to make another go of it and still pushing it over. Requiem up into the sky means
that's dangerous.
he misses the contest here. This is risky because now he's got to rush back, and Overt are looking in a good position. His teammates, though, hold off the defense. 1 minute to go. Mindfreak have to find something, and they do.
I've got to put this down to Overt, double committing in the opposition's corner. All three of them up there as well. And so it just lets a lot of pressure onto themselves as Mindfreak clean up that counterattack and even it up with a minute to go.
And now the pressure's back onto Overt, who could have just played defensively for the final minute, but Mindfreak now say, well, you at least have to go to overtime to us or find another goal right now. And so Overt, they have found it before, but the defense has been strong, but not strong enough here. Zen just bounces it right underneath him.
Zen just dunks it here. He just wins this 50-50 so cleanly, pops it up for himself, and absolutely destroys Requiem. Man, what a goal.
And just like that, after evening it up in the crucial moment, Overt take the lead once more. Mindfreak have to get a good kickoff, and it looks like they do if they can concede it, convert it from here. Steal it away. Requiem, they need that follow-up after they take these strikes on the goal, but they have to not let one go back in because that would just seal the deal for Overt.
A little flick up by Misty there, but does give enough time for Mindfreak to rotate. Misty winning in the midfield again as Requiem puts on a shot. Easily saved by Zen. He pops it up from Misty, doesn't quite find the redirect he's looking for, and gives the possession back over to Mindfreak as we see Fever in the corner here collect it.
And Overt just, Mindfreak have to just find these good long plays that we know them for, not these long shots that just aren't really going to go in. As Overt push it in, they see a window, but there's too many defenders there. The clock is running down, 5 seconds to go, and it's all on Mindfreak right now to find one more goal to get us to overtime. It goes to the ground. Overt send it down. We're going to game 5, baby.
Finally going to game 5. Wow, what a fight back from Overt. Very clean in defense there, winning a lot of 50-50s, and crucially, the 50-50 that mattered was Zen getting that goal to stop it from going into overtime and clinch that game number 4 to them.
Zen's really contending for this MVP spot right now. I mean, yeah, it's been shaky in some of the games, but if he can pull out a really good game 5, I feel like he's going to get the award there. It's a stark difference to what we saw in week 1.
Yeah, he was just in the corner, just swinging, just hoping that he wins this fight, and manages to do so. His punches connecting, and yeah, clinching that game number 4 for them. Going to game number 5. I said on paper this would be close. I didn't actually expect it to be with how good Mindfreak played last week, but man, I'm so glad we're going to game 5.
I mean, even game 3, it just looked like, cool, Mindfreak have found their footing, and the series should look pretty easy for them for the rest of it, but nope, Overt come back in, they get some really good plays. Zen outplaying many members of Mindfreak over the course of that game, so he's looking on form, he's looking powered up, and it looks like if he can continue to do that to game number 5, then Mindfreak have got to do just a little more to stop it.
I've got to say, this is the first time we've seen Overt actually do a play to get a goal. It's not just waiting for a mistake and what was it?
Finding an open net?
Yeah, finding an open net and scoring it. But yeah, it's good to see them actually be proactive, be creative, and create chances for themselves and put them away. Zen especially just popping it up for himself and forcing it in. Yeah, it would be good to see if they carry that on. Mindfreak were doing it the rest of the series, so now we've actually got a proper game on our hands.
Yeah, and this one could go the distance as well. We saw an overtime all the way back in game number 1 of the day. We might see one again here in the final match here. Both teams. No, come on.
Not in game number 5. 2 seconds to go. You see, oh no, that is so hard to see. Both players going for boost. Requiem just has it open net.
Man, when the replay for the goal starts before the game even started, you know it was a great kickoff for you.
Yeah, wow, that was hard to watch. But here we go again, another kickoff. Don't tell me that's going in. Does get saved by Noisy, thankfully. Could have been 2-0 down in under 10 seconds.
Man, Overt fans are sweating right now after these kickoffs, but they do hold on to it. It's still a 1-goal lead, and it's looking good for Mindfreak, but they've got a long game ahead of them right now. Misty going for a contest here, goes over the heads of Overt. Requiem gets it by everyone. Where's the follow-up? No one there. It gets cleared over back to Mindfreak's side.
Yeah, needed his teammates there. Did so much. Oh, I thought that was going in. Yeah,
I
held my breath there, but yeah. Requiem did so much there, managed to beat 2 players and just pop it in front of the net for his teammates, but no one really following up, both playing a bit defensively.
Yeah, we might be getting a play here from Mindfreak, who have all 3 members up ahead, but now starting to rotate back. One shot goes off the backboard there, centers it, but it is pushed away by Overt. Pushed over towards the net, and Misty faking him out, trying to find it. The follow-up is there, up to the top. Do they have a third member? It doesn't look like he was in position. Mindfreak hold on to it. The 50s are here, staying in net. Where is the disruption, the bumps that they need? They don't find it.
Ghost's mistake almost costing them a goal there. As we see the shot, what an angle from Zen to find that. Beat Requiem as well, who was on the post.
And very patient play by Zen. You can see him waiting in the wings there. Moves over, gets the angle just a little bit to the side there.
Oh, that's
bumps
nice.
it into the net. Very tasty.
Yeah, that's a very nice goal. I mean, Requiem probably should have challenged it before it hit the wall. You shouldn't have let Overt have that much time in the corner there. But yeah, great conversion there by Zen on the mistake.
So bounces past.
Good save.
Oh, good save. That one was tight, but Misty, he's going to also now send it on by using all of that juicy little boost that he's got saved up. Goes off to the follow-up, a little wide. The push is going on. The demo's working out for Mindfreak. Going back to the Overt net right now. Can they find a window?
They deserved the goal there. That was great play by Misty, from the save to the carry, the dribble, the flick, just the final. How has that gone in after that play as well? Man, that is silly.
It's like everyone expected everyone else to not go for the ball, and instead just works out for Overt.
Oh, jeez, wow, two people whiffing it there, and then Requiem expecting the contact from both those players and just he's caught flat-footed in there.
That one's got to feel bad, man. Overt take the lead there and on such an important match as well. Mindfreak right in front of the net. You miss it, but it doesn't matter. It does bounce in anyway.
Almost hits the post, but yeah, always a tricky one when you don't really read it to waterfall down, especially with a little pinch there. Requiem does
touch it.
That was nice.
Does touch it and evens things up, and that's a great little play there too. The waterfall setting it all up off the kickoff, so evened up here. This is a high scoring game right now. We're not even 2 minutes in and we've got 4 goals already. And Mindfreak are looking to set it up, try and get the 5th one in, get a 3rd one on the board for them. Fever sees a good opportunity to pass to a teammate, but again, no one's really there. And it's straight away taken away by Overt.
I gotta say, offensively, this is both these teams playing at peak. As we see Zen here with the goal there, a little redirect to knock it over the keeper. It's just goal after goal because both of them are just going for it. They found where their chances can lie. Zen, wow, great control to get that redirect.
Yeah, he goes for the bump, he goes for the redirect. He's just got everything in there to catch the ball and actually get a 3rd point on the board right now. Overt, they're looking like their strongest form ever right now against Mindfreak, who have to step it up again.
Zen pulling out an MVP performance for sure if they manage to clinch this game. Fever with a little shot there, does beat Noisy, and that's 3-all. It's not even halfway through the game.
What is this game?
A clown fiesta, and I love it.
It certainly feels like it, as it goes right by all the defenders. Just a little bit of threading the needle there to go by some of them, and just right then and there, evened up. 6 goals in total right now. And like you said, we're not even halfway by. I half expect this to be a kickoff goal, and is it actually going to be? Did I call it? No, okay, it doesn't. But it's still looking pretty good. Overt still had a good strike, but wow, don't whiff it. He's going to whiff it. And wow, it doesn't go in. Does he have teammates to set it up? It doesn't. And Overt just get to clear it all the way back.
I think I'm actually crying, Smite. What is happening? What just happened there? Ghost should have put that away, but you saw the miss from, I think it was Zen as well, to just not even hit the ball on the ground.
I mean, you think you're crying. Mindfreak are crying.
Yeah,
that could have been a goal lead there. And so instead, they stay evened up. And they've got 2 minutes to get one on the board. Of course, both teams looking to get that one just to skip the overtime. As much as we love it, I don't think the teams love it. They want to get the win. And so with this strong attack, Misty hasn't got any juice, can't really wait for his moment, has to go back. Zen has had some beautiful plays in the series. You have to watch out for him. Very patient here by Ghost, trying to send it by them. Does get it, but Fever has to try and push it past him. Won't really be able to contest, but Requiem will be able to. Gets it over the heads, but it's saved.
It's starting to look like a silver game, isn't it? Just goal after goal and whiffs coming out from everyone. Man, this is interesting to watch. I haven't seen anything like this in competitive, so always good. Always fun.
It's tight. It's the game 5. Mindfreak really want to continue their streak from last week. Overt want to get one on the board, so you've got to say, all players probably very nervous.
It was a good little win there from Requiem. Makes Zen use all his boosts, but doesn't get a good clearance, and so now Fever with 0 boost in the tank can't quite do much. We'll keep it in the corner, but possession goes over to Overt.
Yeah, that just shuts the attack right down. They have to go back to grab that boost. And Requiem, yeah, there's a full tank, but he's still moving back too. They have to keep this one out. 50 seconds to go. The next team to score before overtime could very much just win the game off of that. And so they're going to be struggling to get this one. The nerves, the sweat's going to be going. They're looking for it right now. Noisy through the sky. And back to double commit there.
And a double miss.
A double... I mean, you'd expect one of them to get it. Luckily, they aren't punished too hard for it, or maybe I've spoken too soon, but they do have enough time to get back there. Fever looking to just clear it over to the center. Then Requiem almost gets it in as well. He was there for the setup, but Overt too good on the defense. They're rushing back now, looking for their own attack. Ghost, actually a really good clear there.
What
and
a
an even
pinch.
better clear, a better pinch. Zen is there. But all the members of Mindfreak now moving forward, 7 seconds to go, and it's intense right now in the final moments. We might be going to overtime, but Mindfreak want to shut it down right now. Requiem gets it in, overtime, Novatime.
0-second goal from Mindfreak to clinch it there, right at the end. Fever, a great assist to bounce that off the wall. Noisy caught in net. Oh man, what a game that game number 5 was. Mindfreak just clinching at the end.
And wow, I mean, you've got to feel for Overt, who finally stepped it up at the end, finally brought it all the way to literally 0 seconds before getting to overtime. And wow, what a way to do it for Mindfreak though. And wow, you got to breathe a sigh of relief as well, as they can feel like they're continuing this streak. They're actually going to move right to the top of the leaderboard right now with that win. And Overt going to sit at the bottom, down there with Canberra Havoc.
What did we just watch? What was that?
I don't know, man.
I can't even break that down. We're here to break down that game, but there's nothing to break down. That was insane. MVP for me is going to have to be Ghost. I think he was maybe the player that stepped up the most on the Mindfreak side, so I'd give it to him. But, whew, man, that was a series, wasn't it?
I mean, I kind of want to contest because Requiem and Fever also put in fantastic performances. So, again, it just feels like I want to give it to the whole team like we did last week. But I think at the end of the day, we'll give it to Ghost, as he did probably just inch it out a little bit more. He's going to get his second MVP in a row.
Yeah, he's playing well.
He's feeling pretty good. I mean, he's going to go straight for those accolades for the MVP at least, and possibly more as well. So Ghost really putting on a spectacular performance. But honestly, as the weeks go on by, I would not be surprised to see Fever and Requiem pick up some MVPs along the way too.
Definitely. It's good to see Ghost, a player who played well in a lower ranking team. I think they were last place. Now finally surrounded by players that are backing him up, and you can see he's just collecting these MVPs like the medals, and yeah, he's playing very, very well. Good from Mindfreak, not as convincing as their win over Renegades, but they snatched it in the end, and that's what's important.
Yeah, all right, so that is it for game number 2, a very, very tight one with Mindfreak inching it out. But coming up after the break, we do have our final 2 games. It's going to be a bit of a longer break, guys, so maybe take a moment to go get a bit of bite to eat and maybe pour a glass of Barocca, because we'll be back after the break for more Rocket League action.
This is just clinical. Yes! Let's all strategize. Get the ball here.
Beep, 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 a rocket gives you that. Beep, beep,
Need a ride? Thanks to Ola and Let's Play Live, we are hooking you up. Simply apply the code on screen to get your first ride free. T's and C's apply.
すみません、そこで止まってください。
Thanks, Lee.
is just clinical.
And we're back after the break. Hope you didn't have to wait too long for that one because we've got 2 more matches coming up here in the LPL Pro Rocket League Oceanic Championship powered by Barocca. My name is Matt Smite Ross. This is Mr. Watson, and we're back with 2 more games to go. But let's talk about the ones that we did just see. We saw in game number 1, Renegades finally picking up that good old 3-0.
Convincing win.
Yes, very convincing win. And then, of course, we did just see another series coming by as well. So,
If that's what you want to call it.
another series, yeah. Bit of a...
Messy.
I literally just tweeted a picture of a bunch of clowns punching each other. So that's what it felt like in game number 5. Go back and watch it. It was really fun.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah. But that is Mindfreak continuing their streak, taking down Overt after a 5-game series. So
Not as convincing.
yeah, not as convincing. Some of the games look convincing, but
one out of
game,
5.
But not game number 5, which literally resulted in a 0-second goal. But let's put all that in a box and put it over here, and just deal with it a bit later. Yeah, somewhere off the screen's over there. But we've got another match coming up. It's Team Esper taking on Ground Zero. Now, Team Esper last week went down 3-0 to Cringe Society. Ground Zero picked up a 3-0 in their first week. So, Team Esper looking for a very desperate win. Ground Zero, just like Mindfreak, want to continue this streak.
Team Esper probably disappointed me the most out of all the teams last week. I mean, it was a team that stuck together completely from last season, sub and all. And just didn't show any of that kind of advantage in communication that should be there if you already have played a full season with each other. So I want to see them bounce back. I want to see them show some fight. They just didn't really show anything last week.
All right, well, let's take a look up their lineup. Team Esper, it's going to be Delusion, Frenzy, and Steve. Like you said, these guys have been around together for a very long time.
Delusion's a player that I do like to see play. Very mechanical player and great in a 1v1, so I hope we see some opportunities like that come his way. But Steve stepped up a lot for me last week, although he didn't do too well and they did fall 3-0 to Cringe Society. They were up against a very tough team.
Well, their opponents this time also another very tough team because they were the only other team to get a 3-0. It's Ground Zero. And their lineup, let's take a look at them. They've got a few familiar faces, Jules and Decker, and then as well as Express being the new addition.
Yeah, I was kind of hesitant about how Express was going to play in this team, especially losing Requiem, who I highly think is a great player. I praise him a lot, so it's good to see Express kind of slot into this team very well and continuing their trajectory from last season where they did very well at the start and kind of slipped at the end. So we'll have to see if they can carry it on.
Well, we've got a little featured player matchup for you guys today. It's Steve and Jules from both sides here, and again, taking a look at their results. Remember that one team, Team Esper, lost 3-0, and Ground Zero picked up a 3-0 win. So those stats are going to look a little bit skewed. And
Ground Zero actually got the most goals last week, so I'm hoping for some high-scoring games. I think Team Esper are a team that will have some goal threat in them, Delusion especially. Steve just up there because of his saves. He was actually the key player. I did say he stepped up, so hoping that he carries that on and the other two teammates can follow in his tracks for sure.
All right, well, coming into this match here, I mean, on paper, again, we've got like a team that's sitting at the top of the table or, was at the end of week number 1 going against one of the teams that got kind of crushed. So on paper, is it fair to say that Ground Zero are going to come in here as the favorites?
Yeah, I think this is the only game that I would call a definite 3-0 if I had to call it one way to Ground Zero. I think they look very, very strong, which surprised me because I was unsure about the roster, but obviously there is some talent there. Decker is a great player, great striker, Jules, a very solid player as well. Both of them been around for a while. And then Express has also got a lot of experience under his belt. So, yeah, definitely a veteran team, and they kind of showed that last week.
Yeah, Express really felt like he slotted into the team very comfortably. Of course, it's one series, so we get to test him here in week number 2 to see if it's going to be consistent as they go up against Team Esper, who get a great kickoff.
Yeah, good little bump there from Delusion as well, but here comes all the pressure back into their half. Frenzy has to win this here. Decker just full die, knows that Frenzy's got it. Delusion will follow up with some boosters. Jules catches that in the midfield. Can he find a pass, or is he just going to force it through? He tries the ladder and gets blocked by Frenzy.
A little bit slippery there for both sides, but it does still stick around here in the Esper half, which means Ground Zero happy to take a few more strikes here. They have to rush back to get some of this boost, and it's Decker with a full tank, but he goes for a contest and a shot from the pass. It's just passing back and forth. One of these guys has to take a shot eventually, and there it is, but it is saved by Steve.
I mean, good save by Steve there, but what a play from Ground Zero. Looking for that pass at the end there instead of just shooting an awkward little shot when it's behind them. Yeah, just very convincing for me that they just know what to do when they're in the final third.
And they keep the pressure on. They keep it in the Esper half. They keep going for these strikes. Decker with so much boost, ready to go in and contest. He keeps it in the corner for now, but it still stays in the hands of Team Esper. Ground Zero have been very aggressive at rushing up and contesting, and they do just that. There was a bump in the goal, but it wasn't enough. But now that might be enough as Decker goes for the rotation and gets the first point.
Just silly from Delusion. Tries to dribble it out when there's just all 3 players back in the rotation. Can easily, one will just challenge it. If he doesn't win it, the second one will, which is what happened. Gave all the pressure to Ground Zero, and they just scored. Yeah, they scored. I lost the word. Yeah. There it is for Frenzy with a little pick in the midfield off the kickoff. Gets one back.
I turn around for 1 second to make fun of how you spoke, and already
serves you right for bullying, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Don't bully, guys. It's mean. But Esper do manage to even things up with a very strong kickoff, but they're going to have more than strong kickoffs to take down Ground Zero. So, Delusion going to be rushing for that one after a bit of an awkward clear to the side. Ground Zero have been aggressive for so long. Just a good little bit of disruption keeps the ball out for now, and everyone from Esper pushing to send this ball away, and it looks like they'll be able to do just that. Ground Zero is still very forward.
Man, I wish Jules scored that. That was such a good play from him, just baiting out the keepers. He's toying with them. I love seeing him play with this much confidence. We didn't really see it last year, but goal goes back the other way as they're caught upfield.
And it's something to say about how aggressive Ground Zero are playing, because it's working out a little bit for them, at least in the first few seconds. But Esper are saying, well, okay, if you're going to be this aggressive, we're going to punish you for it.
Yeah, it seems like Ground Zero are trying to play like Renegades, where they just stay in that half and strangle them up, put so many shots on that they force a mistake, but it does leave you open at the back, and if you're not willing to challenge it in their half and not willing to win it.
Express with a great little 50-50 there. Pinches it over to the corner, forcing Esper to stick around in their side, but eventually Frenzy does get it by, but Jules is at the center line just to hold it back in the blue side. Another shot over to the Ground Zero goal, but they're not too aggressive this time, and they keep someone in goal.
Good plays from Esper here. I mean, they've got to take their chances when they get them, because I do think it'll be few to none. So it's good to see that they're already in the lead and kind of making sure that Ground Zero don't snatch it back.
And it's something to say because Ground Zero have kept it in their half for so long, yet it's Esper that's actually winning here. Then finally, though, we see Esper get a good attack rolling, but Ground Zero, their 50-50s have been on point so far, and they have been winning them, getting a setup. There's Decker trying to take a shot, but he's pushed to the side just too much and won't get that one in.
There goes Steve. Little flick there. Didn't need to do it yet. Could have just kept the dribble going, but does win it under Jules there. But Decker comes through with the save. Frenzy picks this up now, but gives it straight to Jules.
Almost a sick little 1v3 there. That would have been so sick to see it go in, but this one is just as cool as Delusion sends it in.
Yeah, was it Steve with the bump there on Express? No, it was Frenzy, carried on, got the bump, Steve passed it off to Delusion, my bad, and Delusion just strikes it home to almost an open net as Express is flipping back, trying to recover. That's a 3-1 lead to Esper.
Yeah, I mean, that was even with Ground Zero getting a proper defense going. So Team Esper, their attack's looking strong, and finally they're starting to keep it over in Ground Zero's side. So they're keeping them on the defensive, but that doesn't mean Ground Zero are any slouches on getting it back to attack as well. They're getting aggressive again, sending it back, but you can see Jules getting in position, but he doesn't need to.
I was literally just about to say, Ground Zero looks so aggressive, and they always look like they're looking to score, and look here, just constantly falling up. Express just making sure it goes in.
Yeah,
Even if it goes in, he's still there for the rebound and does read it well. So great positioning from him, not to just rotate out and leave it to someone else.
Okay, very aggressive game. Both teams trying to score super high right now. 3-2. Team Esper in the lead, but Ground Zero starting to catch up. The shot almost going in there. Delusion just waiting for his moment. He sees it. He goes in. It goes up high. Where's the follow-up there? Frenzy over to the side.
Pinch.
He's going for the shot, but it's just not there. The pinch set it up well enough, but no one for Esper to get there in time.
Almost scored a great goal there with the pinch coming off the wall. Could have found the pass. I think that's what he was actually trying to do, but misused the pinch to make it a shot. And it doesn't go in.
And just contesting the ball around the corner here. Just trying to take the shot. Jules waiting, and that's easy as pie right there for him.
Great 50-50 in the corner here from Decker. Just powers through the defensive Esper and ties up the game by setting this up for Jules, who does not miss those.
Yeah, and as much as Ground Zero have been punished for their aggression works out so far in the second half of the game, evening things up. Like you said, these kickoffs could be very important as we're getting very close to 1 minute remaining, and kaboom goes Delusion, a very big star player for Team Esper, and could be a big reason that they could even things up.
Ooh, what a win by Jules there. Comes down from the air dribble and wins that 50-50. Nothing ends up coming from it, but does give a lot of pressure to them and makes Esper waste a lot of their boost trying to get it out of their half. But here we go, the counterattack coming on as Decker picks that up. Frenzy stops him. And he sends it back as Delusion sends it back again. We're playing tennis.
Yeah, but eventually one team will come out on top. Ground Zero going very defensive here, going back and grabbing all the boost, being in position. But he's going to go in, whiffs it, and Steve just going to try and get by. But they don't have enough time. As Ground Zero now sending it back, trying to look for their moment. It gets sent up into the sky. Decker waiting, trying to see if he can steal it away, win a 50-50 to take a shot. He pushes them away, but Jules is back there to hold tight. And it is back to a game of tennis.
Yeah, I think Jules was looking for the pass there, but Decker was the only thing on his mind was getting back for that rotation. Doesn't want to concede with such little time left on the clock. As we see 5 seconds left, it's up in the air in the Team Esper half, but they try and play it out. Double commit coming out from them, but it does land on the ground and does not turn out to be a goal.
It looked like he was trying to go for a contest on the bump, or like a 50-50 on the 50-50. But here we are in overtime, a very high scoring game, so it could be a very quick one. Steve looking for something, but he does have teammates. It's sitting very close to this Ground Zero goal, but they've had enough time to go in, get the defense going. But Team Esper also playing more defensively than Ground Zero, means they can hold it back from the center line.
Yeah, I did say Ground Zero had the most goals last week and looking to carry that on, but in return, they're also conceding. They're up against Canberra Havoc last week, so not a very strong team at the moment with Tango coming in. And we see now when they're up against a team that knows how to play Rocket League and has played together.
That's a bit harsh.
No disrespect to them, they haven't figured it out yet this season.
Well, still sitting here in overtime, which means Team Esper have the ball now, can't get it past, but Express gets cleared with the ball over into the corner, takes a shot, and it's a setup that's beautiful and gets them the win.
Yeah, this is where Frenzy says, this was all me. Wins that 50-50, bumps him out of the way, and then sets it up. What a play by Frenzy. Steve just gets an open net.
Frenzy with just the greatest little play there, just knows exactly what's needed to be done and finds it in the end. A lot tighter for this game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was going to be a 3-0 to Ground Zero in the series, and obviously we can't have that now with Team Esper taking game number 1. Good to see them bounce back from their 3-0 last week. And finally, they're starting to look like the Rats from last season, obviously, just changed their name.
Yeah, and it's Frenzy looking like he's really stepping up as well in that game. I mean, particularly that last moment in overtime to really secure it, but throughout the game, looking very good. Ground Zero with their aggression, I mean, do they need to tone it down? Maybe just secure some of these attacks and actually just convert the goal? Or do they just have to hang back?
Definitely not the latter. Maybe the first two. Do need to start putting them away, because there was a couple chances where I was like, that should have gone in, that should have been the game. But still scored quite a few. They're still doing well in that attack. But then also, yeah, just rotating out when they need to. They're just kind of committing one extra time, then it's costing them the goal in that game as a whole.
Yeah, well, there it is. It is Team Esper. Let's not forget that last week, like you said, they were up against a very tough team, Cringe Society. I mean, Ground Zero is no slouch. Let's not get that wrong. But the fact that they got 3-0'd last week doesn't tell the whole story, that they're a bottom tier team, right?
Definitely not. No, I think what happened last week was actually individual errors. I think Frenzy was a player who didn't step up to a position that I thought he usually sits as.
Have they fixed it this time?
I think, yeah, just based on that first game, they definitely have fixed it. They're looking a lot more consistent. Yeah, there was 3 goals conceded, but Ground Zero are great in an attack.
Well, Ground Zero is just relentless, and they're continuing that assault right now. As it's all set up, the defense is just getting bumped all over the place, but they still hold strong. They are waiting back, keeping it over in the Esper side. Decker, he's gone back. He's just going to boost up and make sure he's ready to go for the attack. It's still just sitting there. He's going to go for the strike. Misses the 50-50 though. Esper going to push it forward. They even get a demo onto Jules. Gives them enough time to start setting something up, getting the waterfall nice and ready. And Steve bumps it in.
Steve just scored a fantastic goal. Gets it up there, manages to pinch it off the ceiling, and then double taps it. That is insane. That is a great goal from Steve. Someone clip that. I want to see that later.
And so, there it is. 1 goal up right now for Team Esper after a beautiful little mechanical play by Steve. He's going to be looking to do a little bit more of that throughout the series. Delusion trying to catch the ball here. Going to just try and save it. Clears it to the corner. Keeps it safe for now.
I actually can't believe I saw. That was such a good goal from Steve. We pointed him out as a player to watch because he stepped up last week in his defensive role, but I did not expect that from him.
Very good mechanical play. We'll see what he can do for the rest of the game, rest of the series. As his team still 1 game up right now against Ground Zero. And they're keeping it. It's now looking like Team Esper are the very aggressive team.
Yeah, but we do see a counter-attack coming out from Ground Zero here. Jules just not enough on the shot. Kind of lifts it over Frenzy, but he manages to snatch it up, hit it off his backboard and get it clearance. Tries to find Steve on that clearance, but doesn't. Gives pressure back to Ground Zero as we see Jules here knocking it over the bar, looking for his teammates to follow it up, but no one's there.
Yeah, and not even too much disruption on the defenders either. I mean, I thought there could have been a few bumps there, going for the 50-50 there against Express. Frenzy pulls it out of his hands, but Ground Zero is still here to keep holding it back. That Ground Zero aggression, it's back, and they're continuing to keep the pressure on. Going for these 50s, trying to steal it away, bumping the defenders around. But Team Esper so far, they are holding strong, and eventually they might get it back if this 50 goes their way.
I think the thing that Ground Zero doing really well is they're picking their opportunities, their 50-50s, right. I mean, they're winning all of them just because they're picking the right ones. They're not going for it because they have to. They're waiting till the chance is there and then will challenge. But yeah, just the rotations here are not up to scratch. They were great last week, but not here today.
Yeah, and there's a good little pass up into the sky, to be honest, to send it in with a pretty easy goal there. No defenders there in time at all. Team Esper now with a 2-goal lead. It's looking a lot less close. I think Team Esper have cleaned up their defense, and when you're against a team like Ground Zero, just continually attack you, that's all you need to do.
Ooh, flip reset from Jules there, almost goes in, gets saved by Frenzy on the line. We see Ground Zero still got the attack. Express on the way back, just goes up for it, tries to keep it in the half. Deco clicked in the midfield, but I think that's the attack over as it gets sent all the way back into the Ground Zero half.
Yeah, everyone wants to go for the ball in this game. It's just 50-50s galore, and it's just so much fun to watch. And as you can see, even then, Ground Zero is still going for that one, and Steve is just waiting for his moment. Maybe going to play a bit of bumps, but no, it has to go back as it's cleared into his half. He does have Delusion there to pick it up, win that 50-50 if he can get a bye. In fact, does manage to do that, but 3 members of Ground Zero means that they can't eventually do that. Jules looking to make a play of his own, sends it up high in the sky, and does just get bounced over into the net.
Yeah, just a bit slow there from Esper. Jules had so much time there, no one challenging. Delusion's so slow to get up to it, just leaves so much space for him to just place it on a plate for Decker there. Good play by Jules, but very slow from Esper.
Incredibly slow, and they just let him do it, like you said. So Ground Zero to get 1 back up on the board, keeping it a little closer. That aggression's super working out for them right now. Can they push it forward? Can they get it past the midfield? And in fact, Frenzy pushes it by. If they can steal it from this corner, then Team Esper could start their own attack. And in fact, Steve manages to do it all the way from the midfield, but every single time Ground Zero are just happy to lob it back and then continue their attack.
Both teams getting a bit dirty now, looking for the demos and bumps. We saw Ground Zero start it, and Team Esper looking to match it, but no one really finding it on that last play there.
So just like in game number 1, it's just sitting in the Esper half for so much of this match. Now that they've finished getting their 2 goals, of course, They have to stick on this defense. And to be fair, that's okay with them. They're 1 goal up. They can afford to play defensively and just keep clearing it over to the corners, keep clearing it back to the ground zero half. But Jules has set it up. Express moves it to the corner. They're going to have to get a better clear than that.
This is a great attack from ground zero. Every player rotating well and getting some bumps on their way back. Decker setting up a few shots. Express couldn't quite put it away, but here we go. Decker with a shot. Puts it over instead, sets it up for his teammate, but probably should have just gone for the shot.
Yeah, and he started running out of boost as well, and in fact, the rest of his team are looking to do that, so they have to get back to the defense. Steve almost had his moment, but Jules stops him in his tracks.
Delusion's
but
up.
His teammate Delusion is there to send it in. They've got 3 members all up here. Ground Zero could go for a counter-attack here, force Esper to rush back. They're going to do exactly that. Express looking for a shot, but Esper are back in position, which means they're going to have to just take it a bit slower.
Yeah, but Decker's caught that. Does beat Frenzy there, but Delusion, second man to it as it goes straight to Jules, who takes the shot. Steve saves it, keeps him in the game. 8 seconds left, and Esper has possession in Ground Zero's half. They try and take it up. Decker, air dribbling this, runs out of boost. The shot, saved.
And that was their miracle at the end they were praying for, but Team Esper, they're the ones that someone is smiling on from above as they take that game 2-1 and actually move on to match point.
Yeah, and the key difference there has got to be Steve's play. That was insane. I cannot believe that. He is playing out of his mind this game. We pointed him out. The other 2 players playing very well as well. That goal maybe just a bit slow in the rotation. I'd probably put it down to Delusion not getting up in time. He was the last man. But yeah, the other 2 playing well, but Steve is just in a game of his own.
He really is. I mean, so you've got Team Esper, who are looking, as a whole, just pretty solid on defense, considering how often Ground Zero are just putting the pressure on them. But the difference, the playmaker, like you said, it's got to be Steve. When they get onto the attack, he's the one making all the differences. His team's setting him up. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's Steve that gets those cool little moments, those cool little plays that are the ones that get him that 1 goal lead.
That goal as well, man. Oh. That was too nice to see. I remember last season Delusion scored a double fake, and I just kept going on about it because it was just so cool to see. But I think Steve, his teammates, just outdone him there for goal of the team.
Goal of the team?
For me, yeah, that was insane. The pinch to the, oh man, I'm watching that back.
It's always this team that gets the crazy cool goals.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And then they kind of just sit middle of the standings, but looking to take down a top team, or what people would have put as a top team, especially with last week's performance. Ground Zero just not really doing well in defense.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just something to say about their aggression, but they can kick it up here in game number 3 here. They have to get this one on the board. Team Esper sitting on match points, and Ground Zero have been aggressive all series. Let's see if they keep it up.
Bit of pressure coming here. They see Delusion getting the bump on the way back, which opens the door for Steve to put that away. Yeah, that was just Ground Zero playing too far up, gets the bump on the last man, and just leaves the door wide open for Steve to score that.
And that's just the risk of playing the way Ground Zero are. Yeah, you can play aggressive, and it does put a lot of pressure on the other team, but if they can handle it, which Team Esper are, then they can just counterattack like that, rush it by, good kickoff by Ground Zero, but it is just caught very easily by Team Esper. But yeah, the aggression not working out for Ground Zero. It just feels like Team Esper kind of counter them. But as I say that, I jinx it for them as Jules evens it up.
Yeah, tight little angle from Jules there to get that in. Just sets it up for himself as well. Gets the double touch down onto Frenzy. Puts it under him as well.
Yeah, Frenzy looked like he was going to contest it from the wall rather than just try and block the double touch. But there it is. 1 apiece right now. Team Esper, oh so close. Ground Zero aggression, though, has been fantastic. An early little demo onto Frenzy should slow that attack down. Give Ground Zero the time to just shoot it from the midfield, up the top so many times.
No
the
way.
3rd one doesn't go in,
No
the
way.
4th one doesn't go in either. And Team Esper, the biggest teammate is that crossbar.
They needed to score that. Wow, I was about to say that is a great play to passing plays. Gets blocked again. Steve's going to clear that. There's no way they're scoring now. That was just tilting.
Yeah, that's going to feel bad, but the pressure is still on. You just can't ever feel like a Ground Zero attack is
I
done.
literally said they're not going to score now, and he just scores that. Gets into the corner. Everyone from Esper looking for boost because they had the pressure on. I mean, good from Ground Zero, good from Express to just carry on that attack when everyone else thought it was over, myself included.
Yeah, and it was Express that was the first to get any boost, really, to make that play. So strike against everyone with no boost, but it does get them in the lead right now. We have seen them in this position before, And Esper very close to scoring there, but plenty of defenders there to hold that one on. A good little angle, but it's blocked by Jules. So the Esper attack is going to continue, but that is a triple commit like you said. But can Ground Zero find the counter attack? They're still on the defense, still trying to hold it off. That demo to Steve should shut things down for now, but it is bouncing around up in the sky. If Team Esper can win this 50-50, they should. They bought enough time. Now there's going to be bumps galore on the defense. But Ground Zero just rush back and they say, who cares about defense? Give us the ball, we want to strike.
Yeah, Delusion was looking for those demos there, but didn't quite find anyone. There was two in net and he didn't get either of them. And just kind of let the door open to exert some of that pressure off them. As we see a little redirect from Jules there, what a goal.
What a sick little redirect as well. He sees the moment, Express with a great pass over to him, catches the ball. The team's on the same page, they know what they're doing.
That's not easy. That is a great redirect from Jules, and just staying up there, knowing that his team can deal with it, and just tapping that in. 3-1 lead to Ground Zero.
What a good start, and this is the game that Ground Zero need. Finally, their aggression is starting to pay off. A few big commits coming out from Team Esper as Steve just drives right through Express there. But Esper is once again on the defense here. It's going to be Frenzy sending it on right into the hands of Ground Zero to continue their attack. Express looking to just set it up in front of the net, but it is pushed away to the corner. He has to rush back, get a little bit more boost, find a way. And Esper, every time they just get it out of their hands, it's very slow.
Oh, someone's Ground Zero here first, but it does get swatted out of the air by Team Esper as Jules wins it in the corner there. Couldn't quite find the bump on Frenzy. If he had, probably would have been a goal Ground Zero's way and put this game to bed.
Yeah, defense starting to pick up a bit for Esper, looking like the other games in the series, but that's still a 2-goal lead. And Decker, he's looking for a shot. Jules as well, it's off the backboard, looking for one more shot. It's a good little angle, but it's blocked by Steve. They're holding on tight. Defense strong.
Good bump there by Decker on the way out as well. Can Steve find it? No, gets bumped himself. That's the attack, I think, over, but we do see Decker going for the double touch. Couldn't quite find it. Now Steve trying to swat that down from Express. The pressure's still on.
Yeah, double commit there, and it's even Express winning that one out, winning the 33-66 against the other two members, and just sending someone through the air there on Ground Zero. Does shut that one down. Close to getting a goal there. Could have sealed the deal, but Team Esper holds strong.
Ground Zero great at keeping these attacks going, managing to collect it every time it gets sent up, but not really converting it just yet. A lot of shots coming on, but Esper is just saving every single one. Almost goes the other way as Express snatches that. Steve's in net, does hit it as far as Jules, but could we see them get out of their half for once?
I mean, it's going to take a while. Every time they do it, it's just straight into the hands of Ground Zero, who catch it just like that. Send it back to the blue side. Jules rushing back for his strike too. 1 minute remains, and Esper have to find some time to get the attack, but for now they have to defend, and no one's in the net. But no, I kid, I lie. Delusion was there in time, and now Frenzy should be looking for a big long clear, and they need to get an attack going. They need to get those 2 goals.
This has been a very good game by Ground Zero, just not letting Team Esper counterattack.
And this is the strength of this style, right? We talked about the weakness. When it works, though, you get many goals. You keep Esper from ever getting an attack rolling, ever getting an attack, a chance to catch up these 2 goals that they need. Frenzy gets it by 1, gets it by 2. Can he move up and win this 50-50? He cannot, and that clear all but shuts down any chance of Esper's hope.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. Decker's probably going to find a teammate here as well. This is the game to bed. That's it there. Knew it was coming. He was always going to beat that man, and Express just reaps the reward for Decker's hard work.
Yeah, and that was after Esper worked so hard to try and find one in to bring the series back. So looks like we're going to be going to game 4, at least. Ground Zero maybe starting a bit of a reverse sweep here. We've seen them do it before.
Yeah, we could see it. Team Esper not looking like they're dead yet, though. They're still showing some signs of life. They just can't get it out of their half this game. Ground Zero played very well.
Yeah, and let's not forget how close game number 2 was. That could have very easily gone Ground Zero's way. And that's not going to quite go in, but it doesn't matter. Ground Zero, plenty of goals in the lead, and they'll pick up 1 game so far. So yeah, game number 2 was quite close. But of course, Team Esper eventually picking up the win in the 0 seconds. But it just kind of shows that Ground Zero, especially with a game like that, they very much could win the next 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see we picked Steve and Jules as the key player matchups, and man, they have delivered in that fight as well. Both of them just pulling out these mechanical plays almost out of nowhere. I didn't expect it from either of them, and man, they're playing well. So it's great to see. We're having goals galore, some great goals as well. It's fun to see Ground Zero just keep the attack going and not concede as much as they were in the other games, but also it's kind of sad to see Team Esper not really get too many chances.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fun style to watch. It's really exciting.
For one team, if you're their fan.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're just a Rocket League fan and you want to see some fun games, it's a little different. It's exciting because there's constantly pressure going on, and it's risky. Right, we saw what it looks like when it doesn't work out. You know, you've got Esper just going for constant counterattacks, but when it works, it just looks cool, and it looks like they're just so much better than Team Esper, when maybe it's just a playstyle thing.
It's very interesting to see them pick up this playstyle as well. We didn't really see it from them last season. They were more of that team that just took their chances and took them well. Whenever they had one, they would be so creative and get these goals out of nowhere. I'd probably give credit to Requiem for doing that. We kind of see him doing that in Mindfreak, but now they've picked up Express from Chiefs, and they've just gone for this attacking playstyle, maybe to match the Renegades, who have been dominant for a few years now.
Yeah, and it could be just a case of, like, how do we beat the champions? Because we're going for spot number 1. And maybe we'll see that as the season goes on. The Ground Zero have been looking strong in week 1. A little shaky here in week number 2. They have to win 2 more games. Esper just needing to win 1 more on match point right now. They're finally on the attack. This is a bit different.
Yeah, Steve should collect this here. Does flick it over Jules. Gets it to Frenzy. Doesn't find the touch, but almost creeps in. Express had to use everything to get back to that. Passes it off to Delusion, who doesn't have enough to get to it. Doesn't win the 50-50 either. Frenzy caught out of position as well. Gives a bit of space to Decker. Couldn't quite find the pass because Steve blocks it.
Yeah, and so much disruption coming up here from Ground Zero, bumping everyone all over the place, even when Esper control it in their own half. Contesting that one, Express should be able to send this one on by. Going for the contest from Delusion, though. We'll keep it over in the side. A little redirect over to the net by Steve, but of course, right into the hands of Decker, who holds on to it. So many 50-50s.
Yeah, there was a good one there, but again, it's the second man that's always so important. Who gets to it second? Triple commit, and he still puts that in. Oh, are you kidding?
Are you actually kidding? I mean, let's just watch this again. I mean, I think they were in a bit of a triangle formation, and he gets it through the middle of them. That's just, wow.
Just watching all 3 of them flip at the exact same time and all miss it. Man, just the other side of the goal was completely clear, and he goes for the top right corner and beats all 3. Wow, great placement from Jules. He's playing out of his mind today.
And that could just crush the hopes of Team Esper after they do that. They've got to make sure that it doesn't get them down too much and just make sure they can stand strong. And so they are 1 goal down. They can block a lot of this. They can hold the defense and just find the chinks in the armor when Ground Zero get too aggressive and too far forward.
No one really contesting these midfield battles now. Jules just having so much time to do it. And you can see what he does with a little bit of space. Just puts on so much pressure, or just scores it when there's 3 in net. So you've got to be shutting him down in the midfield and keeping it in the Ground Zero half. We always talk about it when you're up against a team like this. So there it is, shutting him in the midfield. Steve with a 1v1 wins the 50-50, gets a goal. We're tied up.
Yeah,
3 minutes to go.
I mean, he's confident enough to just go for that play, get it right, just bounced off of Decker there and sends it in, like you said, evening it up right now. It's feeling great. It's feeling exactly what Team Esper need to do. It's those counterattacks.
That was nice from Steve too. He kind of used this jump so they could get a bit of vision on what the defense was trying to do. I think it was Decker in net, and then uses his flip at the last second to win that 50-50 and put it in the net. Great play from him.
Okay, we're keeping up the attack coming from Ground Zero. They take a strike, but it's blocked by Delusion. Team Esper still have to take it away from Ground Zero, who are just so good at holding possession when they're on the attack. They just keep it in from midfield, go for 50-50s. Finally, we see Team Esper get it by. They're going to commit for it. They're going to try and send it back. Delusion sets it up. Nice for Steve, who's not quite in position to send it in, but does move it over to the corner. Goes for another shot of his own, but misses that one as well. Bump onto Express. A little bit too soon, though. Means he's in position, but is he? But so many defenders, it's back and forth. Your heart drops, your heart rises, and then it drops again.
Yeah, I thought the chance was gone because Frenzy took too long, and The bump ended up not even mattering because he got back into position, but then does well to beat him, almost gets the goal, gets knocked out, Steve puts it in. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Steve just had so much position to just get there and just wait. And wait for that moment he did if the shot didn't quite work out. And as we can see, it's working out perfectly fine for him. Another long shot, and Steve is going to move over. There's some bumps going on in the defense there, but with that demo, it means they're going to have to slow down just a little bit. 1 goal a lead right now for Team Esper. They have to steal it away.
Doesn't find anything with it. Steve knocks it off the backboard, needs to clear this now. Jules is there to challenge. Does so, but Steve wins it, waiting for the next person to come through as he gets blown up. As Decker's there now, passes off to Express. Steve had no boost, so couldn't do too much. Express steals the boost away, and we could see a clearance now come out from Team Esper.
Yeah, and all those bumps on ground zero just slowed down the attack long enough for Esper to get into position. It's so close to just bouncing in there. But they hold on, they save it, they keep it out, and now maybe they can get their attack going. If they can get one more goal, Team Esper could secure this. Ground zero really looking to just even it up, go for that overtime, bounces in front of their net, but it is pushed away by Frenzy. Keeping it away. So tense right now for Team Esper. They're so close to winning the series. Jules in position almost, so is Decker to just push it over, Express. Ground zero, their attacks are starting to slow down.
Oh, but Decker with the mishit going back there, needs to clean it up, does get the clearance, but this will buy a bit of time for Esper to get some boost, but no, he actually wins the 50-50 there. That is a terrible misplay from Steve. Just needed to catch it and take it away, but instead just gives it straight to Decker, picks it out of midair, ties up the game with 40 seconds to go.
I mean, how much of that is a 50-50 win and not just him getting it passed to by the
Yeah, maybe. I thought it was a 50-50. I thought he was closer, but no, it was just Steve passing to him, and the kickoff goal gets missed.
It's wide, it whips. There was some bumps to stop him in his tracks, but it's still going. Decker looking for his moment, trying to get a shot in at the goal, but Team Esper hold tight. They might be able to hold on to it to go to overtime because their attacks, they take a little bit too long. They might not have the time to do so. But Steve, I think he disagrees with me. He wants to push it forward.
Steve had played so good in the last few games, and he's starting to make mistakes. He's starting to get a bit flustered when the heat's on. Oh man, these are getting close, and I think just one shot is all it takes to put it in and snatch this game and send us to game 5. But we could see an overtime. You see the shot here is blocked, gets collected in midfield. Could see an overtime, but could see a 0-second goal. Jules snatches it, goes the other way. Is anyone there to catch it? Delusion knocks it down, and we do see overtime in game number 4.
All right, Team Esper on match point. Ground zero looking for the reverse sweep. Both teams here desperate to get this one on the board. And straight away, just like the entire series, it's a ground zero attack. Going for their setup. Jules up into the air. He's got Decker in the background, just in case he misses.
Frenzy.
But it is stolen away. Frenzy gets it out of the air. They're going to try and go for their attack now. Ground zero have shut down Esper's attacks so much, and they do it again.
Oh, Decker looking for the pass. Didn't get enough power on it to find Express. Jules just lifts that up, and Steve will collect it. Express doesn't go for the 50-50, but Decker's there to clean it up in midfield.
And if you can get a good clear here, Steve might be able to get a good attack rolling, but like always, ground zero, keep it over in the blue half. They stop it at midfield every single time, looking to just get it up in the middle. The disruption's there, getting the demo. Decker through the air, but Delusion will steal it away. And wow, this is tight. Ground zero, it's just been this the entire game.
That's dangerous.
So close right now. Delusion being very careful to not bump it in himself. They do get it away. No one in ground zero went for the attack.
Well, Steve ran out of boost, so Delusion went for it, but meant that there was a double commit, and Frenzy pushed up as well. Could have been an opportunity for ground zero. They do send it the other way. I believe Steve had rotated back in time.
And Team Esper are just so desperately keeping it in the corners, keeping it just far away from the net right now.
Nothing might find it. Steve will collect this, try and dribble it out. Decker wins that 50-50, sets it up for Jules. Doesn't touch it, leaves it for Express. It goes for the shot. Is wide though.
Yeah, it just gets bumped off to the side, and just what a save there by Esper. Ground zero are going to keep this one going, but that slowed down a lot with that demo. Express going to go for maybe a shot here. He's actually going to set it up for his teammate. Off onto the corner. It doesn't go in. They still have a few more shots though, but it's shut down by Esper and goes all across the field. Desperately, ground zero go back and keep it out.
Oh, Express, you have done very well to keep your team in this. That could have been the game. That could have been the series. Decker's shot is saved by Delusion, and now Steve gets it to the corner, tries to find the midfield, but no one's really there to find it. Express will try with the clearance. There's a bit of time, bit of breathing room for both teams.
Yeah, but we're going to see that ground zero attack again. Bounces right over Delusion's head. That's so awkward. Express, slow play. Sets it up for his teammate. What a save! What a save!
It's still there. The pressure's still on, but it could come back the other way now. Frenzy in the air uses this flip early to try and shoot it, but Decker back in time. And now the pressure could be back on to Team Esper, but no, they collected in the midfield. They're staying up here. Frenzy's shot is put wide by Jules.
And they still managed to hold it out. Both teams playing spectacularly on the defense. Team Esper getting a few less shots, a few less opportunities, but it feels like when they do, it gets oh so close. And ground zero, in similar fashion, they always keep it over in this blue side. They just constantly keep that pressure up, but Team Esper are fighting for it so much more.
Good little pass off from Delusion there, passing it down to Frenzy instead of just whacking it upfield. It's a bit of calmness in such a tense situation.
Hands it over to Steve, who can't get it by the third member of ground zero.
Good redirect.
So now he can go for the 50-50, and now we might see Esper getting a good attack rolling. If they can just win the 50-50 here, someone's going to go for it. Frenzy will send it back down the field, but it's right into the hands of ground zero, who hold on to it again. Jules up in the air looking to redirect it maybe, but that demo shuts down the attack.
Yeah, but we see here, Decker gets slapped down by Delusion there as Jules' shot a bit too weak to find the net. Delusion takes this up, Steve takes it away from him. Express is beat, Delusion wins the 50-50 with Steve's help, and that's Team Esper taking down ground zero in game number 4.
And Team Esper, after a bit of an awkward showing in week number 1, come back in a tight series to win the 3-1 in overtime. I think it got to almost 4 minutes there as well, so another long overtime. But it just says something about Team Esper's defense to withstand the onslaught from ground zero. The high aggression, high pressure plays was not enough to crack the shell of Esper.
Yeah, and Steve there had the 2 goals to his name, but also had 6 saves, which kept them in that game, kept him in the series. My vote for MVP's got to be for him. He did have some mistakes here and there, but yeah, in a game that everyone probably would have picked ground zero to step up and snatch it for his team. Wow, great performance.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. No contest there from me. So Steve, gonna be the MVP for this
great
week.
Name as well. Great name.
Oh, yeah, of course. But there it is, Steve. I mean, I don't think you spell it with 2 S's though.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I know how to spell my own name.
Oh. Hey,
I'm only kidding, Steve. I'm only kidding. Great play from you. Congratulations on picking up that MVP and your team for picking up the first win of the season against the team that most people picked higher up the standings.
Yeah, I mean, ground zero did fantastically in the first few weeks last season, so to see Team Esper take them down like this, it's a fantastic morale boost. I mean, again, this is a team that's stuck around, the only team to keep their roster, which says great things about them just staying together and holding tight. They look like a team. They look like they're all on the same page.
And with that result, that means Mindfreak's sitting solo up in there with 2 wins up at the top. We could see Cringe join them in the next game. We'll have to see. But yeah, I don't think anyone would have called any of these results. Well, this is insane.
Watson, coming up next is going to be my pick of the series for the day. It's Cringe Society versus Fury, a new team on the block, and Cringe Society also a well-hyped-up super team in Rocket League. But guys, you're going to have to wait through a short break before we get to that match, and we'll see you then.
This is just clinical. Get the ball here.
Beep, 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 beep. A rocket gives you that. Beep, beep, that.
Need a ride? Thanks to Ola and Let's Play Live, we are hooking you up. Simply apply the code on screen to get your first ride free. T's and C's apply.
これで止まってください。
Thanks, Louise.
But what a shot! Give it up for our champion. This is just clinical.
One more series remains here in the second week of the LPL Pro Rocket League Oceanic Championship powered by Barocca. And it is Cringe Society versus Fury coming up. I'm hyped up for this one because we've got Cringe Society on one hand, which is just the Oceanic super team, and then you've got Fury, which has a lot of cool up-and-coming players like Amphis specifically is one of my picks, and then some old favorites like Kenny Salmon and Scarf. These guys maybe have some questions about them, but they are tried and true so far.
Yeah, I think Amphis was the rookie of the week last week. There was the 4 rookies that we mentioned, and yeah, he stepped up. He had some amazing plays and yeah, blew my socks off for sure. So I want to see more of that, but for Fury, they're up against it today. Cringe Society looking very, very strong. And I think a lot of people looked at that roster and said, yep, that's my top team.
Yep, see those guys at Worlds, but let's take a look at those rosters in detail here because first up it is, of course, Fury versus Cringe Society. We'll probably take a look at Fury first, and I picked these guys as my dark horse for the whole tournament because they can certainly cause some crazy upsets. Amphis has, in my opinion, some of the highest star power potential throughout the whole league. But let's take a look at their lineup. It is, like I mentioned, Amphis, someone to really keep your eyes on, then Kenny Salmon and Scarf, who are back again from last season.
Yeah, my only question marks around this team have got to be Kenny Salmon and Scarf. We did see a few misplays from them and mistakes, but they did tighten it up and impressed me last week, and enough to pick up the win against Overt. So great plays from them, but yeah, Amphis is the man to watch for sure.
Well, let's take a look at a team that's full of players to watch.
Yeah.
It's Cringe Society. You guys know all of these names: Torsos, Spidoge, and Dripace. Probably some of the most popular, some of the most skilled players in the entire region.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that just every one of them is just like an all-star in every aspect of this game. I picked maybe Torsos to be sitting back, and then Spidoge has ended up being the savior and picking up MVP. They're all flying around, they're all scoring. It's good to see.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be the biggest test for Fury, at least in these early few weeks, but I think it's going to be a good indicator of where they sit in potentially the leaderboard, because their first matchup was against Overt, which they won 3-1. Overt, though, certainly not power ranked up there with the likes of Cringe Society and Renegades. So to have Fury play here against Cringe Society, it's going to be a good test.
Yeah, definitely a big test for them. And I mean, the key player matchup for me has got to be Amphis versus Spidoge. Yeah, both of these players had a sensational game. I would say they were the carries. I think both of them picked up MVP. But yeah, we see there 4 shots from Spidoge. Didn't get the most conversion rate. They had quite a few shots on last week, and Fury as well with all those shots. But it was the saves for me that really clinched it for Spidoge. So I want to see more of that come up.
Yeah, so some great plays coming out from both of these players. Of course, Amphis's stats, it probably doesn't say as much as well because, again, I feel like their games are maybe a little bit closer, whereas Cringe Society got pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looked like an easy match, right, where they had a bit of free reign. They could kind of take as many shots as they wanted, really. So the stats, again, it's after a 1-game sample size, so it's hard to say how much they really affect it all.
Yeah, and I think this would be an interesting game to see how this Cringe Society team wants to play. I mean, the first week you just kind of put it down to whoever shows up. There is those first game nerves and teams that haven't played together ever, and that's their first game. So, yeah, now that we're starting to get into the season, I want to see more of play styles start to come through. And yeah, I think Cringe Society could be a team that could play multiple and switch it up on the fly. So very excited to see this team.
All right, well, we are moments away from jumping into the match, but before we do, Watson, I mean, what's your pick for this one? We're hyping up Cringe Society a lot. Is it a 3-0?
I want to call it a 3-0. I always get these wrong. I don't know why you keep bringing it over to me. I want to see...
Okay, what do you think it's going to be?
We can
Who else am I going to ask?
People at home, but yeah, I guess maybe Fury will take a game off them. But I do think Cringe Society are just looking head and shoulders above the rest of the pack. And yeah, I could see them seeing Mindfreak up at the top with them and sharing the first place with them.
Does it say something if Fury pick up a game here? Does it say that maybe Cringe Society have some weaknesses to tighten up and maybe don't look as strong as we thought they would be?
Depends on the result of the game that they pick up, I guess. But if it's a close one, I would just say it's Fury playing well. And it's surprising me week in, week out. So we could see it. They surprised me a lot last week. Them and Ground Zero were the ones that I didn't pick to be as good as they were. That man Amphis getting his first touch on the ball, just keep an eye on it.
Okay, so kicking it off, and it is Fury that are just straight off on the aggression with a really good kickoff too. And yes, like you said, keep your eyes on Amphis. They catch it all the way back near their net. As Cringe Society go for a pretty big clear, but it's still Fury in possession.
Yeah, but you saw that counter-attack come up from Cringe Society where Spidosh gets a flying save out of the net, and then Drippe just immediately finds Torsos for a shot. They didn't even let the ball touch the ground, just constantly passing to each other. It's insane to watch.
Where's Amphis' green car? I love it so much, and we finally get him on the blue side, but just I mean, it's still a cool-looking car. He's got the green jets, so that's all good.
Well, at least he's rocking the Octane. He knows what's up. He knows which is the best car. Drippe collecting it in midfield there, giving it off to Spido. She does have a shot, but Kenny Salmon made that look more difficult than it should have been.
Yeah.
It was a very simple save.
I was a little worried, but I think it was just the camera angle, to be honest. But that's set up quite nicely for Fury, but it is just pushed away by Torsos through the air. He's happy to take that one away, but Fury keep it over here against Cringe Society. Scarf, if he can win this one, could get a good pass over to his team. And Cringe Society, they're fighting for this one. That demo onto Kenny Salmon, that should shut things down or at least slow it down. But a counterattack now coming out, but that respawn on Kenny Salmon will keep it there.
Yeah, that demo came from Scarf bumping Spidosh into Kenny Salmon, or else it wouldn't have been a demo. And yeah, very interesting to kind of stop their own play, but yeah, what is happening there?
Just
bumping teammates. Yeah, I guess that's the way to do it, but gets to the ball, nothing conceded, so all is well as we see Cringe Society start to mount their first serious attack.
But it's just very quickly kind of shut down here. Spidosh is just going to have it taken away from him, spending too much time in the air. All members of Fury very far up the field right now, taking one shot. No one there to take a second shot means Cringe Society can grab the ball, rush it down. If they're quick enough, they can get a very strong attack here. It's just taken away from them, though, by Scarth up in the air, taking a long shot, but that's going to be easily saved by Drippe.
Yeah, but still there. And Amphis goes for the shot, but does put it wide. Kenny Salmon, great pass to find his teammate there.
And Fury, very much holding up here against Cringe Society so far as we get to halfway. Not a point on the board for either team right now. It has been Fury, though, taking more and more of these shots. Cringe Society yet to really get a good attack rolling.
Amphis just seems like he's 3 steps ahead of the play. He just knows where the ball is going to end up and puts himself in such great positions to just be a nuisance for Cringe Society.
And it is just going so well in their attack. Off the backboard there, looking to maybe get a good shot, but it's cleared so well by Fury there. And now Kenny Salmon's in position, sets it up for his team, but Amphis in just a bit of a weird angle, and the ball a bit too high, it means he cannot get it. But they're all back for defense. That's the thing. Fury are so aggressive, but they're back so quickly.
Kenny Salmon using that cat engine sound is just so tilting and annoying.
No, man, it's the best one.
It's definitely not. I don't know how he plays with it. It puts me off whenever I do it, but what a redirect by Torsos. Drippe from the other side of the field manages to assist him with a little backboard pass. Great redirect there.
And getting the first point on the board, and it's just really a great play coming out from Torsos. Set up by his team, of course, but it's not quite the same rotation plays that we might see get you consistent goals. So still a point on the board, means they're in the lead right now. And so Amphis and Fury looking to just keep it over here, keep that aggression up and try and find one in against the Cringe Society. Going for the bumps, trying to disrupt the defense. I mean, push the ball 2 cars, it goes twice as fast, right?
Yeah, if you get the pinch, but they did not, and it just ended up being a double commit. I just wanted to say that goal before was actually great to see from Cringe Society because they're such a new team. They haven't played together, obviously. All superstars in their own right in this league. But to see them just kind of have the faith, Torsos have the faith in Drippe to get that clearance up to him and not rotate back and play defensively. It's just, yeah, it speaks volume to how this team is already sitting well together.
And all the bumps coming out from Fury, just disrupting the attack, disrupting the defense, but they're still unable to find 1 point on the board. And with that 1 point lead, Cringe Society are happy to just keep lobbing it back over here, keep pushing it over towards the Fury net, keep them on the defense. It's working out so far. Fury going for so many of these 50-50s, but Ampus just constantly bumping everyone.
Yeah, he was getting bumped there by Spidoge. He's out of the net. Yeah, didn't really get back into rotation, didn't get the boost in the corner, and was just, yeah, flustered, I'd say. Good pass from Spidoge there. Finds Torsos. Drippe is already on the rotation back. They're playing as a unit. It's great to see.
Yeah, and Fury just unfortunately falling short on just several different things at the moment right now, and that 2-goal lead makes me feel that Cringe Society have got this one locked in the bag, but of course we'll play it out, see what Fury can find. They'll have to find 1 goal very soon, but with Cringe Society pushing this one up so far and so aggressively, it's hard to imagine Fury coming back.
It's great to see Drippe finally play well. We saw his return to the league last season with the Chiefs, and they obviously didn't live up to the expectations that everyone thought. They kind of had a lackluster league play, and then in playoffs, gets knocked out by Canberra Havoc. Everyone knows the story, but it's good to see him just show what he's got. It's nice to see him just run over this league, and there it is, Cringe Society at 2-0 to take this game.
Yeah, and again, maybe a little bit more what we expected. At the start, it did look like Fury were holding up against Cringe Society, kind of playing at their level, keeping the score even, but a beautiful little play from Drippe and Torsos getting that first goal on the board, and then just a pretty standard setup to get the second one. I mean, it does look like Cringe Society, they're just sitting at a little higher level, but also all playing very much as a unit, like they're a hive mind.
Yeah, it's so nice to see a team that's so fresh, and everyone had these expectations and these hopes for them to just manage to play as a team instantly and know where each other are. The communication seems to be there, and just the rotations. It's, yeah, fantastic. I mean, Fury did play well, and for the first half of the game, I thought they were in it. They had their chances, but once Cringe Society started getting the ball rolling, it was game over for that game.
Yeah, well, look, they didn't quite have the I want to say star power that Fury had last week, where they just had a lot of beautiful little moments, particularly from Amphis. We didn't see any of that in this game, and that could be put down to Cringe Society just shutting it down. Amphis, he tried. He tried to pull out everything. He was pushing around for bumps. He was going for 50-50s, but it was just Cringe Society beating him out on all of them.
Yeah, he was always in the right position and place. His teammates maybe a couple steps behind the play, but he was so far ahead that it ended up evening out, I think. Yeah, he is a great player. I love seeing him play. I just want to see the other two step up and be solid so that he can just he can shine.
And again, pushed very far forward. Amphis is waiting midfield. He's going to be disrupted a whole lot. And this one should be shut down pretty quickly here by Cringe Society. Although sitting at midfield, Fury do push it back forward, but...
Torsos with a double touch. Finds it. Wow. There's the goal. You see this here. Spidoge just went for the demos and then ends up giving it to Drippe to find that pass to Torsos. He knew exactly what he was doing with that. Whew, what a goal.
That's what I was saying before. It just looks like they are such a good team right now in terms of synergy, reading each other's plays, and just knowing exactly where to be and trusting their teammates.
Yeah, they all just trust each other. That's good to see. There's no real double commits coming out from each other. If one person says they're going for it, they'll just leave it. They'll just get into position, they'll go for demos, they'll go for bumps, they'll do whatever, but they won't steal the ball away from their teammates. As the double commit comes there, but we'll class that as a pinch. It looked like a pinch.
Yeah, all right, why not? But Scarf did get a good dribble. However, this attack is stopped in its tracks right now by Cringe Society. They're going to put the pressure on. Once again, Spidoge off on a good flank here. Has a teammate, Drippe, just going to send it on up. And you've always got to watch out for his teammates when they've got the ball. Of course, these passing plays have been spectacular coming out from Cringe Society.
Good clearance from Spidoge there. Got so much power that was behind Scarf, and so he had to use everything to get to it. Buys so much time for his team, and now the counterattack's going to come in. Could we see another double touch? It is there. Drippe couldn't quite find it. Torsos with the rebound misses that as well. Spidoge still collects it in the corner. Goes for that, gives it to Drippe. Drippe off the wall to Torsos. Shot denied.
And Fury just ran out of boost so early into that attack. It's a miracle that they managed to hold on to the defense, but they do manage to hold on to it. It's still going though, and Cringe Society is still looking for a play. They're still almost looking for the shot, but they were trying to get a bunch of demos at the same time, a bunch of bumps, and it didn't quite work out. So Fury again hold tight.
Yeah, finally they have the ball in the opponent's half here. We'll see what they can do with it. Kenny Salmon looking for the flick. Doesn't quite find it. Spidoge will clean this up as Xanthus was too far back. Does win that 50-50 though, keeps the attack on. This will hit the ceiling. Kenny Salmon gives it straight to Spidoge, who almost shoots it in his own net.
And you just can't give Cringe Society that much time. They'll always be able to set up and always try to steal it away. Just like that, Drippe clears it away with that 50-50, even sets it up to Torsos, who drops it right in front of the net. And there's Torsos.
Shouldn't have called it. I thought he was going to hit it. He's been informed, but just doesn't get it under the net. Couldn't quite get his car around it. Had the boost to do so as well. Disappointing.
And there we go. Fury shut down that attack with enough bumps. So Cringe Society remain 1 point ahead. It's been quite tight so far since that one goal. We haven't seen anything else close enough to reaching another point. But Fury have put on a pretty good attack so far. They have been constantly keeping it up forward and for the most part holding possession, but it has been Cringe Society keeping that defense strong.
Yeah, maybe the last minute they've looked a bit better, but all of the time before that was just all Cringe Society. So many shots coming on. I want to see the shots at the end of the game because there's just been so many. Getting stopped on the final shot, sadly, but just, yeah, this is great play from Cringe Society and looking so consistent in defense as well.
Big pass up into the air, and it does go over to Drippe, back onto the ground. He's got it in the corner. Can he steal it away with a 50-50? He gets an all right clear, but it sticks in the corner. He's still sitting in front of the net. They're waiting for a good moment. Scarf does go for a bump, goes for a clear, but it's still sitting in front of the net. And Drippe gets it close, but it's not quite enough. Another shot goes in, but the third one might seal the deal. Torsos over in the corner. They're going to have to rotate again. Stealing boost away. Scarf wants to grab that one, but it's taken away. It should be Fury holding tight here. Cringe Society should be slowing down a bit.
Yeah, Cringe Society just keeps this here for another minute. This is the game. They don't even need to score, but yeah, Spidoge probably should have put that shot on. Did have an open net, puts it wide, and just keeps Fury in the game. Could have put this game to bed for sure.
Yeah, the risk, of course, as we saw in Ground Zero's play, is that they have to rush back for the defense with their aggressive play. Sets it up in front of the net, but no one there for Fury to send that one in. Torsos going for the disruption on the defense here. Fury pushing it forward. 50 seconds, very much they can get one goal here, and if they can continue to keep this attack up, they might eventually get it, but I mean, if stats say anything, oh, so close there to getting that one in. Pushing the attackers away, trying to go for more bumps once more. Back over to Fury's side though. And wow.
No way that's actually got it. I thought it was going to hit the backboard and there was going to be a contest for it, but Kenny Salmon knocks it up and over the keepers here and just gets it in.
Yeah, and no one was really in position to save that one anyway, redirect or not, but one apiece, 32 seconds to go. We might be going to overtime. This hasn't been a very high goal-scoring series so far. And Cringe Society, though, they could find one in the final moments here. They usually find it off the kickoff, though, but that one didn't quite go their way. Fury, though, if they can find one in these final moments, could bring it up to even up the series. However, Cringe Society, all of them sitting there in the defense, up into the air. Torsos dropping it in front of the net. It is cleared to the corner. Spidoge's looking for the pass, but he goes too high. No one from Cringe Society could find that one. The counterattack coming out from Fury. They've got a few moments to try and find it in. It bounces over into the hands of Cringe Society. Drippe looking to get it in, but it bounces in front of him. Overtime.
Whew. That was intense at the end.
Take a breath.
Was very intense.
Take a breath. We've seen the players on Cringe Society do crazy things in 0 seconds, so we always have to be careful. So here in overtime, low scoring game. This could be, again, another long overtime, or it could be a quick one, as it is sitting in front of the net here.
Gotta say, you did pick Fury as your dark horse, and they are living up to that, impressing me a lot. I mean, this is only game number 2, and they're holding Cringe Society at 1-all, sending it to overtime. Could we see them snatch that game that we were talking about?
I mean, they're absolutely going to be able to do this one. Cringe Society, still only 1 goal right now, and their attacks have been slowing down, and Fury have just been able to stop them in their tracks so often. However, you've always got to watch out for those big, long passes that Cringe Society are just known for. The demo into Kenny Salmon shuts that attack down, and now the counter-attack coming out from Cringe Society. Torsos waiting for his moment. So was his team, Drippe, just waiting. But it's cleared so far back right now. The attack has to start again.
Spidoge winning that there, though, puts a lot of pressure. Amphis has to buy some time for his teammates, does so by winning that 50-50. Spidoge, though, still got the possession. Cheaply gives it away to Scarth there, who sends it all the way up. Couldn't quite find Amphis, keeps it in Cringe Society's half. Spidoge will collect this. Amphis can stop him. No, does not.
And a good clear back to pretty much no one over in Cringe Society. And Drippe actually catches it and tries to get it in, but is blocked completely. The counterattack now coming out from Fury. The 50-50s are there. Kenny Salmon, he's waiting. He thinks he can find it. Can he win the 50-50? He clears it over pretty well there. Scarf trying to push it in, trying to find a way. All of Cringe Society now coming back for this one. And Amphis, the man, the myth, the legend, the man to watch in this match, goes for a bump. Can't find someone to pass to. Where is someone else from Fury? They're not all in position at all. Good clears coming from Cringe Society.
I gotta say, this is Fury's game to lose. They're looking on top of Cringe Society right now, not letting them out of the half. Doesn't quite make that 50-50 there. Kenny Salmon will keep it in the half, though. As we see, could see some pressure going the other way. A triple commit from the corner there, but no one from Cringe to really punish it.
Yeah, Cringe Society just can't get it out of their half at the moment. This is saying great things about Fury, and especially during overtime. Going for some disruption, Drippe has to be so careful here. If he gets bumped in the wrong way, could be disaster. But now, finally, Cringe Society get a good hold on the ball. Drippe steals it away. Kenny Salmon doesn't get it clear, and it goes over into the corner to Drippe, who can pass it over to his team. But a good 50-50 there. Holds it away, and we're back to Cringe's half.
Yeah, demo as well. This is 2v3 for a little bit, but Drippe's back on the field and is in the right position. Gets the luck of the RNG and spawns there. Spidoge looking for the double tap, but didn't have the boost for it. Left it for Torsos. It gets cleared all the way to Drippe, and we start again.
Yeah, we start again. And so, what can they find? Scarf bouncing it over to the center field, but it is just cleared away like usual. And Cringe Society trying to get the 1v2 here, trying to shoot it past, but Torsos
is denied by Kenny Salmon, but Drippe picks it up, goes for the shot. Weak against Scarf. Spidoge coming in for the 50, loses
misses
it.
the pass.
No, doesn't get there in time as we see it cleaned up by Torsos. His teammates will contest. We see it on the post. Kenny Salmon knocks it away, though. Scarth could have put that away.
It's still in the hands of Fury, though, and Amphis going for a redirect. It's pushed out of his hands. And once more, off the backboard. Is there someone from Fury to push this away from Spidoge? No, he gets it into the blue half. He's happy with that. Sends it all the way back, and we're back with another long overtime.
Spidoge
he
shot to
sees
miss.
it. It goes just a little too slow, but it doesn't matter because it gets bumped into the net, and Cringe Society pick up game number 2.
Oh, how was that the goal that goes in? It was so slow. Scarth was so close to saving it. Oh, man. Ooh, 4-minute overtime.
It almost looked like it should have been just an easy save. It looked like a standard one, but just an awkward little clear there, and the pressure was just on so much. It was almost a 9-minute game.
17 shots coming out from Cringe Society there to the 4 on Fury. I thought Fury was doing well. I thought they were staying in it. They had their opportunities. They just weren't putting the shots on, but Cringe Society forced their way to get to match point in this series.
And that could slow down all the momentum we just saw from Fury. It depends. How well can they come back from a kind of crushing defeat, right? I mean, yeah, it was close, but just imagine how they would be feeling right now if they had won. It was so close, and even some of the later goals or later shots at the net from Fury could have gone in.
But was it last week where Cringe Society had a couple close games that came to the last one and they just kind of put it to bed pretty early and, yeah, logged off for the day? Could see that come in here, I think, because of that crushing overtime. It went past 4 minutes, I believe.
And I think that's one of the biggest tests for the teams that are going to rise to the top, is that if you're in this position, if you're a little bit tilted, and you're close to evening up the series, don't let it get to you.
Yeah, you gotta
play well
bounce
in the
back.
next series. Reverse sweeps happen all the time.
Definitely, but not against the top teams. Usually see them close it out. So, yeah, I think Cringe Society can close this out. I would like to see them play a bit more convincingly. But props to Fury. They have played an exceptional game of Rocket League.
It does say a lot about Fury right now, and it gives us a good idea of where they may sit in the table. But they have another opportunity to prove themselves here, to take down Cringe Society. It's going to be a long journey to do that. Cringe Society, though, are looking to just clean this one up. Nice and 3-0, business as usual.
Ooh.
So many bumps there. Scarf, he's sitting there, but the bumps were just too many, too much, and just too hard to get past.
Spido's recovered well. He was the one getting bumped on the screen there, but manages to just flip into it and save that shot from Scarf. Says, thanks for bumping me, but you ain't scoring, mate.
No, not at all. And Fury, wow, okay, they send it back here. Scarf, he doesn't really quite have enough boost to really compete in this one, but he does just hand it over to Spidoge. Two members now actually rushing over, trying to grab this one. Amphis up in the air. You've got to watch this guy, see what he can do. And Kenny, Salmon.
There's no way he's missing that.
Oh, I don't know, after today.
That's true. We have seen some pretty bad misses, but yeah, Scarf just luckily winning that 50-50 because of Amphis's help. Amphis claims that assist there was very lucky coming down off the ceiling there to get in the way. But yeah, I mean, a 1-goal lead. They got to keep this up.
Yeah, and Amphis can find those plays where he just works super hard to just set it up for his team or even himself, then we could see a Fury comeback. And with a 1-goal lead, maybe they can do so. Kenny Salmon actually getting pushed around. That was oh so close to getting him out of the way. But that one should stop what Cringe Society are trying to do, unless they can win a 50-50 here. But Amphis up in the air. We'll be able to send it back to their side. Maybe even go for a contest. No, it's just going to be lobbed all the way back.
Spidoge almost found that with such an awkward aerial off the wall. Was flipping and spinning and almost touched it but didn't, and it put the defense off, but no one really to follow it up as he gets the pass off there, and Torsos is just a little too far back to get it. Keeps it for his team, pops it up for Drippe, who pops it down for someone, but gets denied by Amphis.
Yeah, Amphis was waiting up there. He knew what Cringe Society was going to do. Happy to just send it away from them, at least getting a good clear. And in fact, just going for a 1v3 against Cringe Society there. But Drippe now, watch for him to pass to someone like Torsos. If he can find it, maybe looking for a play on his own, but there it is. Passes to Torsos.
Yeah, it was a little lucky there. He's going for the 50-50 on the keeper, but misses it. Kenny Salmon only had one place to put it, so that he didn't get dunked on, and that was in Torsos's path. Amphis was very close to snatching that away, but did not. And that is the game tied up with 3 minutes to go.
And you got to be worrying a little bit for Fury. They've been looking pretty good so far, but Cringe Society, I feel like they're getting back onto form and looking to clean this one out. Drippe once more, lobbing it back, but it will be saved pretty easily. So they're going to have to look for that setup again. They've had some great passing plays. Fury can't let Cringe Society just have the time to send those passes down. They've got to contest even more than they already are.
Cringe Society's passes are so teasing as well for Fury. They're just out of reach, so they go into these 50-50s that they're actually not going to win because they're always going to get there first. It's so well placed by the teammate. Spidoge almost getting that goal there, but is denied by the post. Can he get this one?
Surely.
Does beat Scott to it. Scott should have done better.
Well, Spidoge still made it very hard for him, going in for a very strong, quick, decisive strike there. You can see a lot of power going into it. But yeah, it's got to feel bad.
Should have done better. I mean, he had the boost. You saw him use it at the end there. Probably still had his flip unless he double jumped to get up to it. But yeah, you shouldn't see a whiff like that in such a crucial moment in the game. Could be the turning point.
If this was meant to be the comeback for Fury, they needed to save that one there. Cringe Society 1 goal up now, but looking to even it up. They're going for a strike, but very quickly it's shut down by Cringe Society. Everyone on Fury has to rush back now as Cringe Society are setting up their attack. Spidoge, plenty of boost. He's looking to just find his strike here in the corner. Torsos, look for him to pass. Someone like Drippe, set it up for him. But again, it is shut down by Fury. Their defense has been strong so far. A redirect by Torsos slowly bounces down and will be blocked pretty easily.
Yeah, Drippe almost getting that little dunk there. Came flying in from the side of screen. Didn't quite find it though. As Spidoge gets the double touch, but is denied by Kenny Salmon. Good flip to get the save.
Yeah, it was a pretty long one coming though, so he had plenty of time to prepare for it. Still sitting so close in front of Fury's nets, and Cringe Society, any moment, they could just get a super good rotation, a great pass, anything like that. This is what we need to see from Fury, pushing it back and getting their attack going.
Yeah, Amphis beating Spidoge there as well, landing a bit of pressure, but he's up here with boost. Can he redirect this?
He can.
Yes, he can. What a redirect. Good pass from Drippe to find him, and that's 3-1 to Cringe.
And you just got to imagine, that was the call there from Spidoge. Guys, I got full boost. Send it up here and I can get it in.
For sure, that's that communication coming through for Cringe. I've got to say, with a minute left and how hard it is to break down Cringe Society, I think that might be the series, Smite.
I mean,
but we have seen crazier things.
Yeah, it's a great showing so far from Fury. Let's give them another minute to impress us even more and maybe even see if they can make a comeback. But like you said, it's really looking unlikely. It's been a low-scoring game for them. They haven't managed to get a lot in. A redirect there is just too far for Fury to find that one in. They're going to have to fight for this one too. They're going to have to be aggressive because 50 seconds is not a lot of time to get 2 goals.
Not at all. They've got to get a goal here soon, or at least one very soon, and then a kickoff goal straight after. But
Do they keep it out?
They kept it out. I didn't know what was happening. I thought it was going to go in. Torsos is still here, knocks it down, but Kenny Salmon finally clears it, and Fury can breathe a sigh of relief. But it's still on. The pressure's still on.
I mean, they can breathe a sigh of relief, but they've got 30 seconds to get 2 goals. Yeah, they didn't outright die in that point, but they still have to fight incredibly hard, basically relying on a kickoff goal and a goal right now. But Spidoge pushing it so far back. If he can just push the ball back into this blue half for the rest of the game, then Fury will be taken down and Cringe Society can win the game, but that goal goes in Amphis. And the rest of Fury pushing it back in. Do you believe in miracles, Stephen Watson? Do you believe in the
rest of that song, but yeah, I don't know. Kickoff goals are pretty normal in this league, I feel like, so we could see something. They do get the pressure here. Spidoge will buy a lot of time though, and he needs to. This is kept up in the air. Amphis has gone for it. Kenny Salmon's gone for the shot. Drippe denies it, hits the ground, and that's it. Their dreams crushed.
Yeah, Cringe Society knew exactly what to do. Just push it out of their hands, push it to the ground. Don't give them any kind of opportunity to take out a comeback, a miracle. But Fury stepping up hard to the Oceanic super team that is Cringe Society. However, at the end of the day, points-wise, all that matters is that Cringe Society took out the series and move up to the leaderboard to hang out with the top dogs.
Yeah, they'll still claim that as a 3-0. They'll say it was convincing. Yep. I mean, there wasn't that kind of shutout games that we saw from them maybe last week and some of the other teams, but yeah, very convincing. And they're up there with Mindfreak. I'm not sure who to give any MVP to, though. I mean, they all played very well.
To me, it's a toss-up between Drippe and Torsos. Those two work so well together in getting the passes to each other, setting each other up. I mean, I'd say...
I'll agree with you. Whatever you choose, they all played well.
Yeah, no, I've got to say Torsos, though. Always in position. Yeah, I mean, also still honourable mention to Spidoge as well. Some beautiful moments in the final game, but over the series, Torsos in total... Gonna give him the MVP for that one, but very close for Drippe as well.
Yeah, they all played very well, so it was interesting to see which man you gave it to, but gave it to Torsos there.
Maybe we're gonna talk a little louder as well, so that everyone can hear us. It's Torsos going to be your MVP here for this series today. And guys, look, Cringe Society 3-0. I mean, I think a lot of people expected this one. I mean, in terms of just the results of the match, but closer than a lot of people would have called in the individual games.
Yeah, definitely. I think Fury going forward should be very proud of themselves. I mean, they shut them out. They put them to a 4-minute overtime in game number 2. It was very close. They could have clinched the game. Did not in the end, but yeah, definitely looking like a dark horse, as you said.
Yeah, all right, guys, that is all of our games today. However, after the break, we're going to be talking about next week's matches, taking a look at the leaderboard, and of course, awarding the MVP of the week. So stick around for this break.
This is just clinical.
Yes!
guys, get the ball here.
Beep, 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 beep. A rocket gives you that. Beep, beep, that.
Need a ride? Thanks to Ola and Let's Play Live, we are hooking you up. Simply apply the code on screen to get your first ride free. T's and C's apply.
すみません、そこで止まってください。
Thanks, Lee.
But what a shot! Give it up for our champion. This is just clinical.
And we are back to discuss everything that just happened today. We had some pretty excellent matches throughout the day, many long overtimes as well. But here we are back with the Rocket League Oceanic Pro Championship.
You got that?
Yeah, I got that. The LPL Pro Rocket League Oceanic
There's a lot of
Championship.
words.
Yeah, I fixed it. Don't worry. But of course, like I said, a whole lot of cool games today. I think a lot of teams kind of stepping up against some very strong teams, although just not quite enough to get any wins.
Yeah. I mean, one to know, I guess, is Fury stepping up against Cringe Society at the end there. I think a lot of people weren't expecting it to be so close, especially with that 4-minute overtime. But yeah, they didn't clinch it out or any games in the end. So a little disappointing at the same time as impressive.
A little bit, but let's take a look at all of the matches that we saw today because at the start of the day, of course, we kicked things off with Canberra Havoc versus Renegades. Renegades coming back for the revengeance win from last year's grand final, getting a very quick 3-0 victory. Following that, Mindfreak and Overt went the distance to game number 5, Mindfreak edging it out, continuing their win streak from last week. Then we had Team Esper getting a pretty sweet 3-1 against Ground Zero in what many would call a bit of an upset win.
Yeah, for sure.
And then following things out, Cringe Society is so good they can win a series 2-0.
Yeah, not bad from them to win it in 2 games. Fury just rage quit in the last one, maybe.
Just kidding, guys. It is actually a 3-0. Although a very close 3-0, like we were just saying.
Yeah.
But, of course, they do take out the win. So the main real upset is probably Team Esper to getting the win there. But that said, perhaps we just didn't really get a good gauge on their skill from their match against Cringe Society in week number 1.
Yeah, Cringe Society looking head and shoulders above the rest. It could be interesting to see them versus Mindfreak because both of them with a lossless. They both got 2 wins to their name. We'd see the rest of them in the middle, and then Canberra Havoc and Overt sitting at the bottom. Pretty standard after week 2.
Yeah, and of course, there's quite a few teams all tied up in that middle. Of course, only 2 weeks means that we're not going to see too much variance in this. I think still the big surprise is going to be Renegades not sitting up at the top of the table, but as the weeks go by, maybe we'll see that change a little bit. Cringe Society, though, not really any surprise that they're the ones sitting at the top. I think Mindfreak is a bit of a surprise, but that's only after last season's results, right?
Yeah,
they are usually a team that we expect to do well.
Yeah, definitely. And on the other side of the spectrum, seeing Canberra Havoc so low down is surprising as well. They have had tough opponents in Ground Zero and Renegades, so we could see them pick up some wins maybe later on in the season. But yeah, I don't think that Tanga's kind of set into that position, that space that Spider's left.
Yeah, and now, of course, speaking of some of the individual players, we've got to talk about our MVPs this week, because we had quite a few of them and a few repeat offenders as well. Ghost, I think, got 2 MVPs in a row now. But talking about the one from the entire week, I mean, I think I know, I have a feeling who you're going for. You got pretty excited for one particular goal.
Yeah.
Steve. Let's talk about
definitely
him.
Steve. I can't give it to anyone else. And the upset win, as well as that insane goal. I hope someone's clipped it because I want to watch it later. It was insane. Yeah, but that's got to be my MVP of the week. Played very well. Was some mistakes here and there, but you're up against a really good team like Ground Zero that showed great things in week 1, and you shut them out 3-1. You didn't even make it game 5. It was almost not close.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any time to step up and take away that MVP, it's going to be in a match like this against Ground Zero, stepping in and just taking down the series. So Steve is the MVP of the week, taking that one out. Just had an all-round fantastic performance. I believe he got MVP in his match last week as well.
I don't think so because they lost.
Oh, no,
so they
yeah,
probably
of course
didn't.
not.
Probably would have went to someone on Ground Zero.
No, I think I considered him because he did play pretty well.
Right, yeah, he's still playing very well. Is this the goal? That's it there. The pinch to the double touch was insane from him. What a goal. Solo play as well. Set it up for himself.
And it was just so fast as well. I mean, you can take a look at the replay from a different angle too. Just the speed to try and defend it. Just incredible. A great heads-up play, great mechanical skill. I mean, it just shows all the great qualities of a great Rocket League player.
I think I'm going to watch that before I go to sleep just so I can go to sleep happy.
Just every night.
Yeah, every night. It's better than crying yourself to sleep, I think.
All right, well, that's something I don't want to get into there. Too much, a little too much baggage.
Sorry.
But what I do want to get into is let's talk about next week's matches, okay?
Let's do it.
As I ignore your weird...
Cry for help.
Yeah. Renegades versus Esper is going to be our first match of next week. Following that, we'll have Ground Zero taking on Fury. I think that one's going to be a pretty hot matchup. Then we'll have Overt versus Cringe Society in a pretty David and Goliath match. Finally, we'll have Mindfreak versus Canberra Havoc, which is also a David and Goliath match if you just go off the leaderboard.
But for me, probably that first game of the day, Renegades, Esper both looked very strong today, but also looked had their faults in week 1, I guess I'll say. Did show some stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see which one gets the better of that matchup. Probably the closest one of the day for me, if not the Fury Ground Zero with how good Fury looked today.
Yeah, well, there it is. Some pretty fantastic matches. Definitely those first 2 ones going to be the ones to watch out for. But guys, it's been a pretty fun day of Rocket League. I've got to say, again, tense, long overtimes, some awkward missed goals, and probably one of the most ridiculous game 5s I've ever seen.
And probably one of the best goals I've seen in a while. So yeah, this week had everything, I would say. Upsets as well, man. I'm looking forward to week 3. It's already heating up to be a good season.
Yeah, but week 3 is surprisingly an entire week away, guys. But that is the end of the show today. So we'll see you next week at the very same time for more Rocket League action.